Hey everyone. Welcome everyone. I'm sorry, I told myself I wasn't gonna cry, I swear to God. Welcome everyone. Hi Transterra29. Welcome everyone. Today is a Just Chatting stream. Oh my god, I gotta regain composure. I'm sorry, guys. Welcome, everyone. I love JPK. Today I'm doing my leather jacket stream. Just like you suggested, JPK. Thank you so much for suggesting that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I tried to go all out today. You know, not just because like this was the outfit that you guys chose for when we raised $400. We will do a fit check in a second. Just let me do my introduction real quick. And let me regain my composure real quick. We raised $400 for the Transgender Health and Wellness Center back in June. Thank you guys so much for those of you who donated. The JPK was the one who suggested that I wear a leather jacket for a $400 goal. We raised $500 in total. I don't want to like diminish that at all. We raised $500 in total, but our $400 goal was you guys got to pick what I wear for my next stream, my next Just Chatting stream, and that's what I'm wearing today is my leather jacket fit. And I'll stand up and give the fit check in a moment. Today I figured, well, I guess, was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. I decided to make this stream a little more about my time growing up as like I grew up my whole life like listening to metal music and rock music and stuff. That's why I'm wearing my AC/DC Back in Black t-shirt. I actually never worn this before. This is the first time wearing it, so it's great that I'm wearing this today. I know it's not Ozzy or Black Sabbath or anything like that, but Ozzy passing really made me want to like change the direction of this stream in making it about that. I'm not sure if this background music is like too much right now. But let's do a fit check real quick, because I'm gonna keep rambling and I don't want to keep rambling. And I'm sorry if you're watching this on YouTube and you're confused at why I was crying at the beginning. I was listening to, or my pre-roll, part of the pre-roll, I was playing Ordinary Man by Ozzy, and the song itself and the music video are so, it's so heartbreaking now to listen to that song, you know? What do you guys think of the fit, you know? Wearing all leather, it's gonna be a really sweaty day today. I don't think it's that hot today, thankfully, but I might need to turn on my fan later. Yes, the high today is 86, so it should be okay today, I think. I'm not gonna die of heat stroke like that one time when I was, what was it? It was during Weentober. I was in my Lane cosplay. And she wears like a jacket too, and I was dying. So I had to take off the jacket and everything, but I think I'm gonna try to pull through this whole day wearing this outfit, you know? Wearing the jacket, rather. But how many other metal fans do we have in chat? Because I know I've like I said, like earlier, I grew up with the genre. My dad was like a huge metal fan, and that obviously influenced my taste in music. I was surrounded by, oh, thank you so much. I try to really go all out with like the makeup and everything. I even did my nails and stuff. So thank you so much. But yeah, I grew up with Ozzy was my dad's favorite musician. He even had him tattooed on him as well. I don't really have a good relationship with my father anymore. But nevertheless, like, obviously growing up with him and growing up with Ozzy memorabilia all over the house as a kid really influenced my taste in music and my love for the artist as well. And his influence on the genre is like astounding. It's like you can't understate like how important he was to metal and the rock genre in general. You know, the big four that they always say was Ozzy, Dio, Lemmy, and Rob Halford of Judas Priest. Lemmy was, of course, of Motorhead fame, and Dio had hit a very successful solo career, but he was also one of the replacements singers for Black Sabbath when Ozzy left to have his own solo career. I remember where I was exactly when Ronnie James Dio passed away. He was the first one to pass away. He passed away of cancer, and I was living in Texas at the time. And we were listening to the rock station, and it was announced on the rock station that, you know, they had breaking news that he passed away to the cancer, and he was an amazing individual as well. They actually founded, I think his wife and a few of his like close loved ones founded the Ronnie James Dio Foundation, which is a charity foundation. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what they raise money for, but like that's incredible that like charity was founded in his name after his passing. And of course, Lemmy. I never got to see Dio live, but I saw Lemmy live with Motorhead when I was a kid as well. And I think I was still living in Texas at the time as well. When Lemmy passed away. I can't remember off the top of my head what was the cause of death for him, but he was also another like really cool individual. I never heard anything negative about him. Always nice things about both those individuals. And of course, like Ozzy, I woke up. I slept in, right? I slept in because I got high the night before, obviously. And like, I woke up and there was a text from my fiance. She said, "Did you hear that Ozzy passed away?" And I'm like, who? Like, my head, because I was like so tired at the beginning. Like, my head was just like, oh man, did one like the pets pass away? We don't have a pet named Ozzy. But then like it dawned on me that it was a singer, and at first it didn't hit me because I was tired. I was like really, really tired. Obviously, just woke up. But after like scrolling through social media and seeing all the posts about him passing away, it was dawning on me slowly but surely that like one of the greatest musicians that ever lived passed away, and one of the coolest people too. Like you would hear all the crazy stories about Ozzy, obviously, but if you were a true Ozzy fan, you would know like how great of a individual he was. He was an activist. He supported LGBT rights and everything. He supported a lot of different things. So many different things. He was such a great individual. His last concert that he did earlier this month, I haven't seen the footage from that concert. He said it was going to be his last, but obviously if you've been a fan of Ozzy for a while, you would know that like he said that multiple times, so like you wouldn't really think much of it when he said it at the time, but now that it's actually the case, that concert's like very, very important, and I feel like that's why he kept saying that every concert like would be his last, because he was living each concert as if it was his last, because he had no idea when it was going to happen to him. I remember when Ryan James Dio died, like, of course, like, all four of them were best friends and everything. Like, after Dio passed away, I think was a huge turn in his life that he's not going to live forever, and no one is going to live forever. And he didn't know, like, he thought, like, he was going to be next, you know? Obviously, like, we all know that Lemmy was the next to go. Just like years later, you know, obviously it wasn't like back to back or anything. But there's a lot of songs that he produced, like, after Dio's passing, about him reflecting on his life and embracing that he'll eventually pass away. Like, that song, Ordinary Man, that was like 5 years ago, dude. Where he was, like, reflecting on his life and everything. And, yeah, this last tour they did, like, he said it was going to be his last, but obviously, I saw him live at Ozfest when he said, like, this concert's going to be my last concert ever, you know? And that was years ago. I was still a little kid, you know? And then he released, God, what was that album? It was the one with Let Me Hear You Scream, right? What album was that on? I think that was... Oh, the album's called Scream, apparently. Yeah, on that album, that was like... I think that was the first album to release after Dio's death. And there's like a few songs on there that are very like much about repenting, like some of the actions that he did in his life. Like, obviously he never did anything like hugely bad or anything, but he did get like high and drunk a lot. I remember the story where apparently he was banned from Austin, Texas because he peed on the Alamo. Or not Austin. Which I think is San Antonio, right? I think he was banned from San Antonio because he peed on the Alamo. He got drunk after a concert and then he went to the Alamo and peed on it. Which is hilarious to me. I mean, like, but I mean, that was the thing, like, with his like brand and everything. He was very like much against like strict authority and everything. And but I think after like RJD's death, like he like even on the album cover, it's like him on a mountain holding a flag and there's like angelic wings behind him. It was not only like a farewell message, it like interpreted as a farewell message to his friend Ronnie James Dio, but it was also like acknowledging that like his time's going to come eventually too. And I think like obviously it's gonna come for all of us. Like I'm an existentialist, so I embrace my finitude and I embrace all humanity's finitude, but it doesn't make it any less sad when like someone like this like passes away, especially like someone as influential on so many lives as his was. And it was influential on my life in particular because, like I said, I grew up with like Ozzy memorabilia all over the house that I grew up in, and I listened to his music like pretty much every day because like my dad would play his records, play Black Sabbath and Ozzy and everything. And like I've had t-shirts growing up, and obviously like I don't have those t-shirts anymore because I grew out of them and stuff, but I just wanted to like make this stream kind of about like memorizing, like, or not memorizing, but as a memorial to Ozzy Osbourne, his life, his family, his career, his music. Like, you can't understate like how influential his music is. And I feel like I'm not reading myself, honestly. it's seriously, it's straight up like he was one of the most influential people, not only in metal but in music in general. Like I still hear his, like him, like I still hear Zakk Wylde and Randy Rhoads like chords in modern day rock and metal music. I still hear it to this day. I still hear it. Like, I listen to like a lot of like Japanese rock, right? I hear it, that his influence and the band's influence in that music too. Like, his presence was worldwide, not just in the UK, not just in the US, but like globally. It's like you can't understate how important like of an individual he was to so many people, like especially like metalheads growing up and stuff. And yeah, like I've seen memes where it's like, oh, like you know, check in with your like old white friends, you know, because like they're going like through a rough time right now. And it's like, yeah, a lot of white people listen to the music, but like it's not just like a race or an age thing. Like his music like touched so many different lives, so many different individuals, so many different kinds of individuals as well. Like his music was for everyone. Everyone who was into rock music, into metal, everyone who was just into like having a good time in general, I feel. And I cried so much the day that he passed away, because I was just remembering all the things he did in his life, how much his music meant to me, and just growing up like with his music and with metal music in general, and how different things would have been if he never like actually existed. And like, I'm sorry if I'm gonna be crying a lot this stream, but that's kind of what this stream is gonna turn into. This is probably gonna be a short stream. I don't know if I'm going to be rambling for like 4 hours straight or not about this stuff. I might be doing it for 2 hours, but I guess I should talk about like me growing up with the music. As I said, my dad was a big Ozzy head and Metalhead growing up himself, and it really influenced his taste in music for the rest of his life, I guess. I mean, like, I don't keep in touch with him nowadays, but I'm pretty sure he was very saddened by the news as well. I think I actually think, is my music doubling? Hang on. Advanced audio monitor. Oh, okay, no, it's not doubling. Yes, Black Sabbath. Yeah, growing up with like Black Sabbath and Ozzy and Brian James Dio and Motorhead, and of course Judas Priest. Judas Priest, like Rob Halford's the last one of the big four, I believe. And I need to see him live. I've seen Lemmy live. I've seen Ozzy live. I missed my chance with Dio. I cannot miss Judas Priest. Like, I need to see, especially because like Rob Halford is an out gay individual. Yeah, Metallica and Queen. Well, Queen was a rock band, obviously. But like obviously like Freddie Mercury was like one of the hugest LGBT artists, and like his influence was like phenomenal as well. Metallica, like, yeah, obviously, of course, like they were like following the first wave of metal, and they were actually the ones that like made metal mainstream with their song One. So they were like yeah, thank you. I tried to go with that. Yeah, they're still going. They're still like amazing and rocking. Their latest album was fire. I'm not sure if you guys heard Lux Eterna, but like that album is amazing, honestly. It sounds new still, but it sounds like they're kind of going back to their roots of like not their early Metallica stuff, but at least like on their Black album, right? But anyways, I'm getting like ahead of myself. I grew up with all this kind of music, like Slayer. I've been listening to like new metal and stuff like Slipknot, and Static X was one of my favorite bands growing up. And even later on, one of my favorite bands as a kid was Dragon Force, obviously. And I've seen them live twice, and they're amazing live. But because I was like really into like the speed metal and stuff growing up. Like I really liked a lot of Slayer's heavier stuff, and of course like Static X, like I said. That a lot of people claim like Static X is new metal, but they sound like a lot different than like a lot of new metal bands. But like new metal is like such a strange like subgenre, and I can go on like a huge tangent about like subgenres of metal, because like my roommate and my fiance and I were out there the other day, I think, talking about subgenres and how like ridiculous they get sometimes, because like Static X claimed to be evil disco is the is what they called themselves, evil disco. They coined that as their genre. I don't know particularly if that's like a real genre that people like actually think about when it comes to subgenres, but yeah, evil disco apparently. But I'm rambling off topic. Like I grew up with a lot of this music, right? And you know, I wore a lot of black growing up. Obviously I like wear a lot of pink now because that's my favorite color now, but back in the day it was like just black. All my clothes were black. You know, I saw a red tour and I wanted to paint it black. But I mentioned this briefly on my Pario video. I'm not sure if you guys remember that video. It was a long time ago. But it's one of my it's still one of my most popular videos on my channel because like so many people resonate with the character. But I mentioned briefly like around the end of the video that I grew up wearing things that in my eyes distance people from me. Like rock music and the aesthetic were like huge counterculture influences, and typically like people like strayed away from like people like that, I suppose. Like you know, back in the day, this was before my time, but satanic panic was a thing. People listened to rock music, people who played D&D. But if you look at it like straight up, like it's just nerd shit, right? It's straight up nerdy crap, right? And Ozzy was a freaking nerd too, dude. Like, so many of these musicians were like huge nerds. Like, look at his freaking album covers. Like, it's him like with Dancing with Dragons and like chicks in like leather jackets and shit, right? It's Ozzy as a dragon with a chick wearing leather, you know, with a Shot in the Dark, that album cover. And that was one of the things that I really loved about Ozzy as well. He wasn't one of those like popular musicians who tried to like make himself all attractive and stuff, or a lady killer or whatever. He was always like, I'm a creature, you know. The Ozzy was very non-binary coded. I swear to God, he wore women's clothing sometimes, not as a joke or anything, just cause he could. He was comfortable with his sexuality, and I think that's like an amazing thing. And like, you know, he like on album covers, on stage, on different things, just a part of his aesthetic and things in general, like he's a creature, you know? I love the music video to Bark at the Moon where he becomes like a werewolf and stuff. Like, I love that music video so much, and it really encapsulates like his aesthetic and like his everything, you know? His personality, his branding, his everything, you know? He's a demon, he's a creature, and like he doesn't give a shit, you know? He did not give a shit. But like, that's his surface level stuff. That's just his branding and everything. Underneath the surface, he definitely cared so much. He cared about so many different things. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm just realizing that I'm going back and forth between topics like, oh man, me growing up with music, and then like, oh man, Ozzy, he was such a cool guy. Oh my god, this is why I don't know if just chatting streams are like the best for me, because when you give me like a podium to stand on and speak, I will ramble and it's not even gonna be coherent, you know. But me growing up with like rock music and metal music, like when I was in high school, I was like you know, a typical edgy teen. I only wore black and I only listened to rock and metal and nothing else. If you play me anything else, I hate it. Obviously, I've grown a lot since then. Obviously, like Ozzy doesn't like mind collaborating with other musicians as well. He's definitely like collaborated with like different genres. Like musicians of different genres and everything, but like he's always stayed true to his roots up until the end. Like even his like modern music like still hit hard, and his lyrics, like that's one of the big things about like that I loved about Ozzy and Black Sabbath is his lyrics were so poetic. They were dark, they touched on some dark themes and everything, but how he touched on those themes were so poetic. That's why in the pre-roll I played the song by Black Sabbath, Symptom of the Universe, because like that song itself is like so poetic. And it's not, none of his stuff are evil at all. I don't know why like crazy like conservative individuals were like very much against Ozzy growing up with like the Satanic Panic movement and everything. You know, obviously, of course, that was before my time again, but like, you know, remnants of that fear of unknown and darkness still holds true to this day, obviously. But that song in particular, like the lyrics are like, take my hand, my child of love. Come step inside my tears. Swim the magic ocean that I've been crying all these years, right? God, what are the lyrics? That's my favorite Black Sabbath song, by the way. Take me through the centuries to supersonic years. The century to supersonic years. Electrifying enemy is drowning in his tears. All I have to give to you is a love that never dies. The symptom of the universe is written in your eyes. Stuff like that. I don't know. I'm probably like jumping all over the place with the lyrics, honestly. I'm trying to get that on top of my head. You were the same how you dressed and how you carry yourself. Just didn't like anything at the time. That changed when you started coming out. Exactly, yeah. I feel like that's like a big thing for like me coming out as well, because like, you know, I grew up like introverted and everything. And I feel like a lot of people who are of counterculture movements are introverted because they I don't want to say they're scared of, I guess for me, I was scared of people. I don't know. I was scared that, because I was picked on as a kid and everything, because, you know, I was different. I didn't know who I was at the time, obviously. I know why I'm different now, and now I don't care, and I can be a little more extroverted and talk to people more, and dress how I want to, dress more lively and everything. But, like, as a kid, you are told exactly what your path is in life from the beginning. Like, you're born this way, and this is how you are supposed to act, this is what you're supposed to wear, and this is how you're supposed to be for the rest of your life. And that's how a lot of parents like raise their kids and everything, right? And that's why a lot of people, when they come out, are ostracized by their parents. And a lot of that stuff being bullied or teased, and fearing that because like I only wanted love for my fellow man, even when I was that age. A lot of that just like made me want to stay away from people, and particularly I wanted people to stay away from me, you know? So like I would wear black clothing, you know, and I wouldn't talk that much. I grew up like when I was in high school, I grew out my hair, and my hair was like really, really long and curly and everything. And like people straight up said like, "Oh, from the back you look like a girl." Cause I've always had the bubble butt, right? And I had like this long hair, so from the back I did look like a girl, like already, with the long hair and everything. You're still introverted because of autism? Yeah, I still consider myself an introvert too. I wouldn't necessarily blame autism for that, Jan. I honestly like introvertism and extrovertism, if you want to call whatever. I don't think really relates to autism. There are very outgoing autistic individuals and very introverted autistic individuals. So I think that's just how you are, Jan. You ran into the same problem when you had long dreadlocks. I mean, it worked out for me. Like, I didn't know who I was at the time and everything, you know, but like eventually I'm just like, hey, if I look from like a girl from the back, then that's like a good thing now, right? Now I'm trying to look like a girl in the front too, you know? That's why I'm doing the electrolysis and everything. Back then, like, I had like a mustache and sideburns. Like, I never shaved my sideburns, and like I let my mustache go out, and it was gross looking. I hate seeing like old pictures of me like back then, but like all these things I was trying to do, like I was trying to like not avoid people, because like I couldn't obviously do that, but I wanted people to avoid me. I wanted people to like stay away from me. And it's kind of hard to like look back on those times and reflect on that, because like I never hated anyone. I never hated people. I was just afraid that they'd hate me. And that was like the main thing. And I still like to this day think that, and I know like, you know, through life, like people are going to hate you no matter what you do, who you are, how you act and everything. So I'm more attuned to that, but still to this day, like I hope that like no one hates me for just like being me, but like there's nothing I can do about that. I think it's best to just love yourself and be who you are and love that part of yourself. And that's exactly like the kind of mentality that Ozzy had growing up as well. Or I don't know, growing up, but like, you know, being a musician and being himself, and like his aesthetic and everything that he put out there, he was unapologetically him. And that's how I feel like everyone should be in life. And I think that's the main thing, like one of the biggest things to take away from his life, his career, and everything that like he was saying in his music, on stage, etc. Just be yourself. Don't be afraid to be who you are. And love the things, love what you love, and like, who cares what anyone else thinks, right? Part of you being introverted is the area you live in. No third places beyond generic bars and churches. And most people just want to party and talk sports. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not a fan of sports. Anytime I'm put in a position where I'm surrounded by people who just like are watching the game on TV or whatever, because like I was forced to like go to like Thanksgiving get-togethers and everything, parties. Like I'm like, all right, the food's good and everything, I'm sure the people are nice and everything, but all they're doing is talking about sports, and I don't want to be here right now. So I'm just gonna sit on the couch and say nothing. And that's like not super recent, but that's more recent than I want to admit, honestly. You did find the group at one of the out centers near you have the same vibe as you. there is another that is kind of the same vibe. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like if you're like especially if you're introverted and you do want to like still make those connections, like it's easier when like extroverted friends come to you and invite you to things, but like sometimes like you don't have those connections to begin with, so you got to like go out and make some of those connections. Um Centers like LGBT centers and stuff that you can find in your local area can definitely help, because just do what I do and think of them as open invitations, you know? Like usually I don't go to things unless I'm specifically invited. But I'm recently trying to like come out of my shell and everything, obviously. So I'm trying to find more events that and look at them as open invitations. Like I wasn't directly invited, but I was kind of invited anyways, because technically everyone was invited, you know? It just depends if you want to go or not. That's just kind of my mentality about that. But yeah, I think I'm rambling again, off topic again. But yeah, that's how I like grew up. I grew up like liking my rock, like, you know, I listened to like alternative music, emo, skate punk, punk rock. You know, I loved the Misfits growing up, and I still love the Misfits today too, obviously. I loved like Fall Out Boy. I loved all these like alternative bands, Green Day. I remember, speaking of sports, honestly, I remember I wore I think this was middle school. I was wearing a Green Day shirt, and I think someone made fun of me for liking Green Bay Packers, which I don't know where they're from, but they're a sports team apparently. And they thought I was wearing a Green Bay, like my shirt said Green Bay, and they were making fun of me for that, but I'm like, those people are freaking idiots. This is Green Day, dude. This is a band. I don't do the sports crap. I don't care what you like. This is what I like, and it's not what we're talking about. Did find game stores in the area too. I went to 25 years are still around, but all too far away to be a hangout place for almost daily things. Yeah, that's like the problem with like the city that I moved to. There was a lot of stuff in the city that I was, but like the city that we moved to recently, actually a year ago, it's like almost when did I make that new home stream? I think that was like almost a year ago, huh? July 24th. That was almost exactly 1 year ago that I moved to the like this new house and everything. And it's a great house. I love the house. The city is great too, but there's not a lot to do here except there's a mall that's not too far from me, which is awesome. I don't like being in cities that don't have malls, because when I moved to Texas, it was a small city in Texas, and they did not have a mall anywhere near them. So I was glad when I moved back to California. When I moved back to California, and there was like a mall that was like basically within walking distance. And here, like the mall's not within walking distance, but it's like a 15-minute drive, so it's not that far at all. But yeah, like there's a lot of things that like were in my old city that we still commute to that old city, because we just moved like one city over pretty much. We still commute to that city to like go to like the gay bars and stuff. There's like no good bars like in this city, honestly. No good clubs that we've seen. They're like mostly sports bars, and I'm just like, eh. So like we go to one city over for like the clubs. Like downtown there is like amazing. Downtown here, eh. I'm finding I'm having to travel 45 to 60 miles to get most things that match my vibe. Jesus Christ, really? What state are you in? I don't want to like ask, like I don't want to like have you dox yourself or anything, but if you don't mind sharing, like what state are you in? Is my fiance in sports? No. No, my fiance's into Star Wars. They've been making me watch Star Wars, rewatch all the Star Wars films again. So like we're watching a lot. I've been watching a lot of Star Wars recently, because my fiance is really into it. 2025 has had the feeling of progressing 1 year per month. Oh my god, yeah. I feel half and half, honestly. I'll get to that in a second. Anything that happened last year, so feels like it was almost a decade ago. Yeah. No gay bars or arcade bars. No, there's no barcades. Southern Michigan. Yeah, I've never even been around Michigan. I've only lived in California, then I moved to Texas, then I moved back to California, and that's pretty much it. Like, I've traveled through Arizona and what was it, New Mexico? I couldn't remember the other state. I traveled through Arizona and New Mexico. I've never been around Michigan. Or where's Michigan on the map? Because I've been to Georgia, because like I've been to the Georgia airport, coming back from Florida, from that trip that I took earlier this year. The Great Lakes. Oh no, I've never been around then. That's more north. No, I've only been, wow, I've only been like in the southern states my whole life. That's crazy. I need to start like traveling more or something. Would you hit the bars with Kai in this fit? Oh, definitely. I almost went in this fit to a concert. We were supposed to go to a concert, but Kai ended up going getting a kidney stone at the time, so we ended up missing the concert. It was going to be The Midnight and Chromeo, and that was going to be an awesome concert. Unfortunately, they got a kidney stone, so we missed it, and I wasted all my money, but alright, let's stand. I can do that. You've only been in the northern states. You should come down to California. There's a lot more cool stuff over here, honestly. From what you're telling me, there's a lot more cool stuff over here. Oh no! Oops. See, my fiance is a big Star Wars fan. Like, we've been watching, like, a lot of Star Wars and everything recently, and I guess it's out of batteries because it's not working, but, like, they got this at Galaxy's Edge in Disney. So it's, like, an official, like, cool lightsaber and stuff. I don't know how much they spend on this, but it's a lot. And it's like a lot heavier than like the lightsaber toys that I grew up with when I was a kid. I guess seen all the Star Wars films, but like we're watching them all like again for some reason. They're just like on a Star Wars kick for some reason. I don't understand why. Ah, God. I've also been really sore lately, so that's why I'm kind of like adjusting myself, I guess. Also, it's pretty hot in this. So, what was I talking about earlier? What? Jan mentioned something, and I said I was gonna get back to it. Oh yeah, like the months kind of progressing like they were like their whole ass years. Yeah, like I'm having half on that, honestly. Like sometimes like this month like felt like it flew by. But then there's some months that like feel like they are like going at a snail's pace. Like earlier this year, I feel like some of those months were very slow and everything. Especially like I think February and March felt particularly slow, honestly. But like this month felt like it flew by, and I think it's because I got high a lot this month. Which, by the way, I'm cooling down on taking edibles every day now. I'm trying not to do that anymore, so I can just get stuff done. Cause like I need to for one, I need to find work. If anyone's hiring an editor, let me know. But in spite of that, the next stream that I have scheduled is August 3rd. That's going to be a Sunday, so not next Saturday. Next Saturday is going to be the next Cutie Spectives videos on my main channel, so like look forward to that. But next Sunday I'm going to be streaming with my fiance, and I don't know if anyone here watches Smiling Friends, but we're going to be basically recreating a meme from the show where we're going to be hanging out, smoking weed, filling our bellies with diet soda, and playing Burnout Revenge for the PS2. And like, I don't particularly like care for that game or anything, but we're literally just doing it for the meme. So like, I don't think I'm going to I might get high this weekend, but I'm not getting high every day anymore. And I'm definitely not getting drunk as much anymore too. Like, I really need to cut back on that. Like, when Ozzy passed away, I got drunk that day. I ended up just drinking whiskey. I finished off a bottle of whiskey that we had in the fridge, and I got really shit-faced and did a lot of stupid stuff, and I was really obnoxious, and I'm just like, yeah, I probably shouldn't, like, be drinking much anymore. One, it's really bad for you. Getting drunk a lot like that is really bad for you, but also, like, I'm apparently really, obnoxious when I'm drunk. No snow where people live in Cali, too much desert. It depends where you are, honestly. I'm closer to the beaches. Like, the desert's not that far from me, where I'm at, but, it's mostly like beach air and stuff, you know? The breeze feels really nice, you know, because it's like, it comes from the ocean and everything. I'm not as close to the ocean, like Newport or something, where like you can like smell the ocean when you just step out of your house or whatever. But it's enough where like you can feel like the cool breeze from the ocean, and the weather is really nice here. Obviously, like, gets hot and stuff. And no, it doesn't snow. It hails sometimes. It can hail sometimes, but like nothing like too crazy. When I lived in Texas, honestly, in Texas it snowed, which surprised me because I always thought because Texas is a little more southern than California, that they wouldn't experience snow either, but they did have snow there. So not only does it get hotter in Texas, but it also gets colder in Texas too. So weather in Texas sucked. That's another reason why I'll never go back to Texas. Like California, I grew up in California. I was born and raised in Orange County and all around Orange County, really. I don't live in Orange County right now, because it's cheaper where I live now. Apparently living in Orange nowadays, or like in Anaheim, is a little more expensive. But the weather's still nice here and everything. There's not as much entertaining stuff to do here than Anaheim, but it's not that far from Anaheim, honestly. It's like a 30-minute drive or something from Anaheim, to be honest. Maybe like 45 minutes, but I don't know. Traffic might make it like an hour, because traffic in California sucks. Traffic in California is not the best. But I think the pros outweigh the cons in California. So, especially like hearing about like conservative states and everything, like I could never live in a red state again. Like living in Texas felt like I was suffocating, honestly. And I didn't live there for that long. I only lived there for a few years, and then when I graduated high school, I immediately that summer moved back to California. Like that summer after I graduated high school, I moved back to California, and I'm much happier now than I was then. And I bet if I stayed, if my parents like let us stay in California and everything, I probably would have came out a lot sooner. But I don't know. Now I'll never know. So many people move from Cali to Texas. Yeah, I mean that's what I heard when I was like over there, was like, oh, so many people in like and like coming from California, moving to Texas and everything. And I'm just like, dude, it wasn't my choice. It wasn't my choice. It was my parents' choice, and it wasn't because they're conservative or anything. They might be now. I don't know. They weren't really big into politics. At least that's not what like I really garnered from them growing up. They wanted to move to Texas because it was cheaper than California. And to be honest, it was, but also minimum wage is lower. So kind of balances out. I don't know. Austin has a lot of Cali transplants. Yeah, I heard that Austin is still pretty decent when it comes to like I had Taylor Holcomb as a guest on Cutie Spectives a few months back. They were my friend back in high school, growing up and everything. And he still lives in Texas. He's like an open gay man and still living in Texas, but he lives in like a big city like Austin. So he says that like the big cities in like those areas are still not super crazy conservative or anything, but I still feel like I'd be afraid. I don't know. I wouldn't want like to get picked up one day and like kidnapped or killed or anything. I wouldn't wish that for me, and I don't think that would happen, honestly, especially like Taylor or anything. I think Taylor hopefully is like pretty careful about like going out on his own and everything, but he's also like looks like he's a white man, you know. He's a white man, but I heard horror stories. I had a teacher, like a professor. He was an acting professor in college, and he told us a story about how he was almost kidnapped. They grabbed him, threw him in the back of their van, and closed it on him. And then where they were at a rest stop, there was some police there, and my professor like slammed out of the van, and it actually opened, and he fell to the ground with his like hands were like tied and everything. And like the cops arrested those dudes, and those dudes actually were like serial kidnappers, and they were straight up looking for like gay men to kidnap and kill, pretty much. And it's scary, you know? That stuff happens in real life. It doesn't happen like a super lot, I hope, but like still the fact that it happens is like really scary, and I don't wish that on anyone, honestly. That's like really scary. Austin is also a big college town. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a big city in general. Like I've visited Austin. I visited Houston also. I think I visited Dallas, but I can't remember. And yeah, there's like they're like huge cities. The main reason why I went to those cities though were for concerts. Like I've seen Kiss and Motley Crue, I've seen Motorhead, I've seen Ozzy, I've seen so many other bands while I was living in Texas too, and that was like one of the main things that like one of the main excursions that we would do when we would go out was like go to concerts. We went to like a concert almost every year. Michigan is pretty safe for many reasons. No natural disasters, crime has gotten lower. Most people ignore each other. Oh, that's awesome, yeah. I think most people ignore each other here in California as well. Most people just mind their own business, do their own thing and stuff. And I think that's like, I think that's really, really good, really nice. Cause like I mind my own business as well, and I expect other people to as well. There are obviously like natural disasters and stuff here, earthquakes, but like earthquakes are kind of mild for the most part. Very rarely will we get like a huge earthquake that does any massive damage. Obviously there's like the San Francisco fault and everything, and that's where we get most of our earthquakes. There's flooding when it's like when you're really close to the beach and everything. But here where I am, it's not that bad. not that bad. Every now and then we get earthquakes. Like there was like a tiny earthquake that happened like a couple days ago that I felt when I was like laying in bed. But other than that, like, you know, California has like really nice weather. Nice people for the most part. I don't really talk to anyone, so I don't know that much about it. We constantly have bands touring around here, you know, so we can go to concerts like anytime you want. There's just a lot of stuff to do in California, and like, of course, like the beach is like right there. So we can go to the beach anytime. There's like a mall in every city. So like, I don't think I can live anywhere else but California. My fiance like wants to move to like Vermont or something eventually. But I don't know much about that place. I feel like I would really miss California, if I ever moved, you know? Which I did miss California when I moved to Texas for that short period. Michigan gets a tornado maybe once every 5 years. Wildfires never... Oh yeah, I guess we do get wildfires like at least once a year. Like huge wildfires like at least once a year. But that's because like people are stupid. Too inland for hurricanes, of course. And not near any faults. Yeah. Yeah, it feels very good for if you want to avoid like natural disasters. I know people like are really afraid of natural disasters and everything, and yeah, they can be deadly if you're stupid about it. But for the most part, like they're very much avoidable. There are a lot of precautions that like people can take to avoid those kind of things. Obviously, like there's like people who are displaced from their homes and everything when the natural disasters get too out of hand. Like the LA fires that happened not too long ago. And obviously like the hurricanes and stuff. I've lived through earthquakes and tornadoes though. Because there was a lot of tornadoes in Texas. And I guess I'm lucky enough to like never get hit by any of them, like in particular. Any like ones that would like be hugely disasters. The closest that's ever come to like anything like that was two things here in California. One was a big earthquake and it sounded like an explosion outside, but like it just rattled the house like a lot. Nothing like too spectacular was damaged. I think there was like a few new cracks in the road, but that's about it. And like when the fires, one fire like a few years ago happened. It was a huge fire, and it was raining ash. It was raining ash for like a week straight. It was crazy. It was very close to us. And it just rained ash, and it was gross outside. And I constantly had to like clean up ash in like our yard and everything. But other than that, like, I guess I'm thankful that I haven't like, I don't want to like jinx anything, obviously, because like natural disasters can like lead to like people like losing their lives and everything. And to those individuals, like my heart goes out to those individuals, because like, I mean, some of them can be avoided. I've been really into, oh, thank you so much, Vanna. I've been really into watching grim stuff when I get high. So I've been watching like, four most disturbing videos ever recorded, or disturbing pieces of lost media and stuff. And in one of those videos, there were a group of storm chasers who got way too close to a tornado, and they ended up getting sucked into the tornado and losing their lives. But like I said, that could have been easily avoided. But sometimes it's not so easy, and for those individuals who have lost their lives to something that couldn't be as easily avoided, like tsunamis in Japan, I know a lot of people lost their lives to that, and like my heart goes out to them, because like it's rare to like, if it's hard to avoid something like that, like that's when it gets scary, you know? That's when it gets scary, when it gets to that level of stuff. But for the most part, like, they don't get that big. It's very rare when hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes and tsunamis like that can lead to like natural disasters and stuff. But for the most part, it can be avoided. And I'm not scared of natural disasters, but I guess I can kind of relate to like how some people would be scared of that because there's so many big natural disasters that happen. You know, Hello Kitty has Gothline. I don't know where this came from, honestly. I don't know where this came from, but I love it, right? I got this jacket and skirt at the same time. I can't remember what store it was from. And my fiance got me the fishnets, right? But I mean, Hello Kitty obviously like does like gothic stuff because they have like a lot of Kurumi stuff. Like I have this one dress. I don't know if I've ever worn it in any of my content before, but I wear it a lot on my own time. I might have actually worn it. Okay, there it is. I thought it was like it might have been in the in the laundry or something. Like they got this stuff. Like if you go to like Hot Topic and stuff, they have like all the like the Hello Kitty stuff, like all the Sanrio stuff. Like so we got like Kurumi and My Melody. Like I love Kurumi because she's so cute and like gothic and everything. Like I have a lot of Kurumi stuff. Like I'm actually wearing a Kurumi I don't know if you can tell, but it's a Kurumi ring. And also the Kurumi little bow. Yeah, so I really like Sanrio stuff. But we got on like so many different tangents. But yeah, I grew up as a metalhead and loving like rock music and everything. So it was like just it hit me more than like people would realize. Some people were like, oh man, like my fiance, they were like, I'm not super into like celebrities or anything. I don't obsess over celebrities. I don't either. I do not obsess over celebrities either. But this one just hit me like nothing else. Like it was too much because like I grew up with like surrounded by like Ozzy stuff like my whole life and stuff. You think you've seen Hello Kitty denim jackets too? Yeah, I bet those exist. Natural disasters. Yeah, we were talking about natural disasters earlier, but we can kind of like stop talking about that. Like those kind of like topics can only go to grim directions. So, and I know this is like a little bit of a grim topic in general. Just like talking about individuals passing, but it shouldn't be grim. Honestly, it shouldn't be grim because he lived an amazing life. And he did so many amazing things for so many people. And like the lessons that he taught us and that we should be taken away are astounding and really good life lessons to like teach one another. And for those people who like don't like individuals like Ozzy, they don't understand like the kind of person that he was. It's like it was really heartbreaking to me when I found out, and it was heartbreaking to a lot of people. Honestly, there were so many people like in memoriam of him, mourning for like the loss, especially like Sharon Osbourne. Like they loved each other so much to the very end, and that is very like a very heartwarming thing. Like they found true love within one another, and it's so cool. It's so cool that like they had that for like the longest time. Like my heart goes out to Sharon Osbourne and his kids and everything. So many musicians like paid their respects and tributes to Ozzy as well. And I'm happy that we had Ozzy in our lives. And it's sad that he had to go, but even he knew it was going to come for him eventually. Like I said, he's been talking about him passing away for so long that it felt like maybe he never would, you know? Like Mick Jagger is still on stage, like shaking his ass and like killing it on stage, like, and that dude's like 90, right? Like freaking Mick Jagger, oh my god. Stan Lee was like another like person that like passed away that was like, you know, you would feel like that those individuals were like almost immortal, you know? And in a way, they are immortal because of the things that they one taught us and the stuff that they produced and is now with us forever. Like those aren't going to go away. Those are going to, like, his influence on these genres and his music and everything is still going to live with us like forever. And I think that's a true testament to like not only the individual but the talent of the individual. So like I guess I just move on from like Ozzy, even though I said like I'd be talking about that a lot during the stream, but I just wanted to say that like he was a great man and will like be sorely missed, and I'm just happy that we'll forever have these things to remember him by, like with the music, the lessons he taught, and like all the cool cameos that he had in movies, like and video games too. Like I love Brutal Legend. I'm not sure if anyone else has played Brutal Legend, but I love that game. That game's one of my favorite PS3 games. Like I got it over here, actually. If anyone's played Brutal Legend like this, or if anyone hasn't played Brutal Legend, go pick it up. It's a great game. If you guys are like a fan of Jack Black, if you guys are a fan of Psychonauts, like the individual who made Psychonauts, Tim Schafer, if you guys are a fan of rock music or metal music in general, like pick up this game. It's really, really good. A lot of people don't like the turn-based aspect of it, but as someone who grew up playing StarCraft, like I was kind of into it. It was a very unique take on an adventure game and like RTS games in general, or tower defense, or however you want to like say that they were. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. Like the soundtrack in that game is amazing. It's one of the best like rock and metal soundtracks out there that aren't like Guitar Hero or Rock Band or anything like that, you know? Religion was one of the free games that Twitch gave out on its own platform. Yeah, I heard that too. Like I already own it on PS3 and on Steam, so like I didn't like take advantage of that offer because like I already had the game twice. But like it's so cool that they did that in honor of Ozzy, because he's a God, what was he? Is he the guardian of metal or something? I don't know. He's basically the shopkeeper, right? So like you go to him for like upgrades and stuff. And he's so cool. He's in the game, Lemmy's in the game. Hey Smokey Show, what's up? Yeah, he's in the game, Lemmy's in the game. RJD was supposed to be in the game, but he was feeling ill at the time, and he was actually supposed to be the main bad guy in the game, but he ended up being replaced by Tim Curry. Tim Curry is the voice of the main villain in the game. And then another one of the main villains is also voiced by Rob Halford of Judas Priest. So that's awesome. What was he, General Lionheart or something like that? Something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I played that game, but I still love it. It was one of the first games that I ever got for the PS3, and like I was hyped for it even before like I got the PS3. Like I ended up getting the PS3 for my birthday. That was like the first console that I like owned because it was given to me for my birthday. Whereas like all the other consoles that we had at the time, like my brother was like selfish and claimed them as his, even though it was both of us. Those consoles were like shared between us, but like my brother was really selfish about that crap. It's like I love the PS3 because that was like the first game console that like I could claim to be like my own. And obviously like one of the first things that like, okay, cool. Obviously the only reason I wanted to get the PS3 was to play Metal Gear Solid 4. Because I was a huge fan of the Metal Gear Solid series already. And 4 was already out by the time I became a fan, and I really wanted to play 4. Oh, thank you so much, JJ Fan Fan. Yeah, this is the outfit that Liv JPK chose for when we raised $400 for Transgender Health and Wellness Center. Sorry, I had the hiccups for a second. Ugh. I'm also freaking sweating and kind of like losing my voice or whatever because I've been just talking non-stop since we started going. Do you guys prefer when I'm silent or like won't shut up? Let me know. I'm always curious about that, honestly. Like I wonder, like, do people like prefer me like just look at me, and like do they keep me on mute or something, or do they actually prefer it when I'm like rambling nonstop? Also, what do you guys think about the new camera? This is Kai's webcam. I'm still borrowing it from last stream and everything. Let me know how you guys like the visuals, because it's more high definition than my previous camera. Also, I'm not experiencing any kind of technical difficulties like I was with the last camera, because apparently that was the thing that was causing all those technical difficulties in past. My freaking old camera. Also, speaking of last stream, let me know if you guys want me to continue playing Quantum Break. Let me know if you want to keep seeing that, because I enjoyed the game. We didn't get super far, I don't think. I don't know how long that game is. But if you want me to continue, I will. But if not, I'll just play it on my own, you know? I'll just finish it up on my own. If you guys want me to continue it, I'll be continuing it sometime next month. This is going to be the last stream of the month. As I already mentioned, August 3rd is going to be the next stream. As of now, I might be streaming on Friday the 1st. That's August 1st. I may or may not be streaming. That's still up in the air. I'll let you guys know on like my Instagram and everything if I end up doing that. That might be like a special little stream, but like there's a special stream that I'm planning right now. That's going to be a surprise to you guys. And it's either going to be on this coming Friday on August 1st or sometime in August, because it needs to be in August. I just don't know when in August. I know I'm going to be doing my next interview sometime in August as well. I think on the 8th. You guys will be seeing who I'm interviewing on the following month, September 6th. But the next Cutie Specters is going to be on Saturday, the 2nd of August. So look forward to that, because like it's another like super special guest. This last guest was amazing as well. Like, if you guys haven't checked it out, please go do so. It doesn't have a lot of views right now, but like that honestly surprised me because of the kind of like stuff that this person has done in the past. Like, they're an amazing person, a very talented individual, and it's like one of my favorite interviews that I've conducted so far. So please go check that out. That's with Star Victoria Power. They are a music composer. They've worked on the Calico soundtrack, which is one of the first Let's Plays that I ever did on my channel. So like, it's kind of like, it's like music, it's like a story, and you know, it's like the hero's journey. It like comes back to the beginning, you know? So it was really great to like have them on as a guest. They not only did they do the entire Calico soundtrack, they also did work with Steven Universe, the cartoon Steven Universe on Cartoon Network. And they recently did a track for Bloodstain Ritual of the Night on one of their DLCs that came out recently. So please go check out the Cutie Spectives interview with Star Victoria Power. I think it's just like an interview with Star Victoria Power, music composer, Cutie Spectives. It's on my main channel on YouTube. Please go check that out. It's great. And if you don't want to like sit down and watch it, you can also find it on Spotify and Apple Music, because like it's also a podcast on those platforms too. So if you just want to hear it and you don't want to just like sit down and watch it, although they dress really snazzy, so if you want to steal their look, you're more than welcome to check out the video on it too. Or steal my look for that video, because that I was wearing like the sparkly like star dress and everything, and it was really pretty. But nevertheless, next Cutie Spectives is going to happen on August 2nd. That is going to be at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm not sure how it's going to be on your guys' end, but obviously I'm going to set it to a premiere as I have with all the other Cutie Spectives videos. So like YouTube will tell you. YouTube will tell you. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if you pay attention to YouTube, it will tell you. It tells you these things. YouTube's good at telling you things, but you don't listen. Alright? I don't listen either. I don't even watch YouTube anymore. No, I do. Obviously, I watch YouTube like every day. But I've honestly been getting tired of YouTube, honestly. Like, I just, like, unsubscribed from, like, 5 different channels, like, the other day, because I'm just, like, I don't have time to watch these things, and also I haven't been interested in these people's content for, like, years now. I'm talking specifically about, game theory. And all the theorist, side channels. I used to love game theory and everything growing up. I used to love, like, I really loved when he, like, opened up, film theory. Like, that channel and everything. But lately, and it's not a fault of, like, the new hosts, because MatPat stepped down and everything. It's not their fault on that. But it's the content that they're producing. I'm just not a fan of. I'm not a fan of Roblox. I'm no longer a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. I used to kind of, like, be into Five Nights at Freddy's, but, like, that's all their content has been lately is, it just looks like it's aimed at the alpha generation, which is the generation after me, so it feels like there's nothing that I'm really drawn towards their videos. Like, I used to sit down and watch, the theorist videos, like, every time they would come up. I would sit down, I'd watch it, I'd be interested in everything, but now it's like, I'm not interested in this topic at all, so I just have their videos playing in the background, and it's just like, why even have, like, their videos on in the background anyways, like, if I'm not even interested in to begin with? So, like, I went through, like, each of their channels, and, like, tried to see if there was any videos that I was actually interested in, and I wasn't interested in anything. Film Theory is just doing YouTube ARGs. Game Theory is just doing Roblox and, you know, indie horror games that are aimed at those kind of like people who are into those kind of things, like stuff with lore and everything. Food Theory is okay still. I'm just like, I don't know. Honestly, I'm on a diet right now, so I can't be thinking about food. Like, that's like the main reason why I like unsubscribe from Food Theory too. Is just because like I don't really like thinking about food right now. And with Style Theory, I enjoyed Style Theory. I really like the host that they got for it, Amy. I think she's really cool. I love her aesthetic and everything. I just don't like the way she structures videos. It seems very dishonest with the viewer. If I'm trying to like I'm trying to put it into words. It seems very dishonest to the viewers. Like, there was this one video where like she was like pretending to get text messages from like all the other like people who were helping her out on the vid. It was the touching grass video. That's what it was. It was when they went out and touched grass, like, or like they brought in grass and stuff. Like at the end of the video, they like made it like this big deal, like where, oh look, all of my suddenly I went outside and all of my friends were outside sitting in the grass. It's like, no, you did not like just suddenly go out and they were all out there. This is scripted. Like you are. This was scripted and you're doing a voiceover. So you're not surprised when they're texting you right now and then you step outside and suddenly they're all outside touching grass. That's not real. That's not real. This is a video. It's scripted. It's edited. Like, I don't know why she does that in her videos. And it was annoying me. It was honestly annoying me that she would set up the videos like that. And like nothing on her, no fault to her. I'm pretty sure she's trying to like do like the YouTuber thing and everything where like having a message at the end, but it's just like, it doesn't need a message. We just need the facts. That's what Game Theory and the Theorist channels were. And that's why I loved them growing up. I loved hearing about the facts, the theories, and like the reasoning behind the theories as to like try to like make sense of the theory itself, you know? But nowadays it's not like that. Nowadays it just feels so different. And what did Jan say? MatPat stepped down to get into politics? Really? I haven't been following what he's been doing lately. He started a coalition to help content creators have a voice with Congress. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense, like, coming from his perspective. Because he was already, like, helping out other content creators and stuff. Not coalition, what was it? Caucus. Caucus? That sounds naughty. That's just a theory, a food theory. Thanks for eating. No, they say bon appetit, right? Or what is Santi, right? He says something in his language. Was it ben porecho or something like that? I don't know. I was watching their videos for like quite a long time after even MatPat left, because I still like some of the content that they produce, but like most of it now is just like Five Nights at Freddy's, Roblox, Minecraft, and that's it. Like, I'm just like, I don't care about any of this. You posted it on Tara's Discord. Oh, Tara Pureheart? She has a Discord? I need to check that out. I also need to freaking, like, talk to her, too, because, like, we were supposed to, like, do something together, but, like, I don't think she got back to me on it, so I need to, like, reach out to her again. Bone apple teeth. Just reposted on my Discord. Okay, I'll check it out in a second. Or I'll check it out after the stream. I'm not gonna check it out on stream. Or maybe I should. Is it like let's check it out on stream worthy kind of stuff? Let me open Discord. Need to go on here anyways because Infinity Nikki just put out a new redeem code kind of thing. Shut up, I don't want to boost my own server. Ha. This congressman looks like Matt Pat. Wait a minute! After 2 years of work, Steph and I have just launched the Creator Economy Caucus in the House of Representatives, a bipartisan group where creators can work alongside lawmakers to ensure legislation is timely and relevant for the internet age. We've already got around 10 reps on board and we're just getting started. That's awesome, man. I hope like this new initiative like goes well for him. That definitely sounds like something that he'd be like into, you know? We'll eventually want to assemble creator advocates from around the country, so if you're interested in helping Washington understand our world, stay tuned here for more info. What was it? Congresswoman Beth Van Dorwana? What is her last name? With over 70 million content creators earning income from their online content, it is safe to say that every congressional district across the country has people financially benefiting from their creativity, ingenuity, and ability to reach viewers from around the world. The country is filled with creators who are building brands, hiring local something, probably talent. Oh, that's cool. Like, I can definitely see, like, that's the route that he's been taking. Like, if it wasn't that, it would, like, it was either that or, like, something in, like, the scientific community. And, like, or, like, the STEM community, obviously. But, like, I think politics is, like, in the direction of, like, actually, like, working for content creators. Because he's, like, been in that business for, like, a long time. Like, over 10 years, I think, right? So that just makes a lot of sense. And like, I know he's like not only a lot of experience, but he's like met so many different influencers, and I'm sure he wants to like, he sees like the things that like influencers struggle with and wants there to be like positive change for their direction. And honestly, I'm all for it. I just hope he's not like, doesn't come out as like a conservative or something. I don't know. I don't know what's Matt Pat's side on things, you know? Does he have a side? What a handsome motherfucker. Oh my god, if you go to the Wikipedia article, it's him like in the suit and like in front of that's so funny. Like his Wikipedia article is him like as a politician now. Information, Creator Awards, co-founder, president, CEO of Theorist Media. I like how his occupation is listed as internet celebrity. Consultant, digital actor, analysis and strategist. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he should be like more liberal about things, right? I mean, there's like enough of like his audience who are like LGBT and trans and everything, so he should be open to like kind of stuff, right? At least I hope so. Also, I think like one of the people on Theorists are a drag queen. I think at the very least. Oh, and what's her name? Who just took over GT Live? Isn't she aren't they non-binary? I think so. God, I can't remember her name. I don't know. But anyways, enough about dear, I don't even know how we got on that topic. Oh, I was saying, like, I've been getting tired of YouTube in general lately, so, like, I've just been unsubscribing. Like, they're not the only, like, channels that I unsubscribe to. I unsubscribed to, like, a few of them, and I'm not trying to call out anyone. It's just me getting older, I guess. I'm getting less interested in, like, gaming in general, too. Like, that's why my YouTube channel isn't, like, there's no gaming content on my YouTube channel. I'm saving it directly for Twitch and everything, and even then, I'm just kind of getting tired of that as well. That's why I'm trying to, like, figure out ways that I can do other things other than just gaming all the time. I still love games, you know, I still grew up as a gamer and everything. Games, unlimited games, but no games. Exactly. Exactly. I have so many games. I have, like, my Steam. Oh, I don't have. I actually closed out of Steam. On Steam, I'm telling you my game count. 1,339 games on Steam, and nothing to play. Like, I have thousands of games that I paid for and everything, but I'm playing Infinity Nikki, which is a free-to-play game. You know? It's like everyone with, like, all their anime games and all their waifu games, but they're just playing the horse girl game now. It's exactly like that. Everyone's, like, kind of, like, doing the same thing. Like, games are... I feel like we're gonna have, like, another game crash, you know? Like how we did, like, back in the day, like, before Nintendo saved it. We're gonna have, like, this last year, I think it was analyzed that, like, game sales have been diminishing. Gamers are just, like, not buying games anymore. And now games are getting more expensive, so there's less incentive to buy them. I feel like I'm only interested in, like, a few games that are coming out. And I'm getting less and less interested in some of the games that are coming out. Like, I was so hyped for, like, Post-Trauma coming out and everything. And that's an indie game, you know? I was so hyped for Deltarune. And yeah, I bought these games and everything, but, like, these are indie games. Like, AAA games, like, I'm not excited for, like, the next thing that Square Enix is putting out. Like, I'm excited for Metal Gear Delta. I'm excited for Grand Theft Auto. And what the heck else am I excited for? I don't think, like, maybe the new Silent Hill that's coming out, right? That looks pretty cool, but, like, that's about it. I'm just not as interested in, like, a lot of, like, new games that are coming out, and now that, like, I don't have a lot of money to spend, like, I'm even less interested, especially because games are getting more expensive. And I feel like a lot of gamers are, like, on this side of things, too. There's that whole thing that's going around that's, like, save the games, thing. I've never really looked into it much. Oh, I thought these, like, actually went down, but they don't. I was gonna roll up my sleeves, but I'm not. You've been getting a load of free games through both Twitch and Epic. Yeah, exactly. Like, we're being spoiled on that stuff, too. Like, we're getting spoiled with, like, all these free games and stuff, from, like... And these are good games, too, and everything, but at the same time, like, we have, like, giant libraries of games we just haven't played, that we haven't touched yet. It's like, if I have all these games are getting more expensive. I don't have all the money to spend on games. I don't have all the time to spend on games anymore because I have all these responsibilities because I'm growing up and everything. It's like, I can see games not be, like, kind of dwindling. Like, another, like, huge gaming crash happen. I saw a report recently, I didn't, like, click on it or anything, that, the new Mario Kart World that came out, right? People are abandoning that game now because they played it, and it's supposed to be like, you know, getting updates and like having online capabilities that you're supposed to play and everything. Nintendo's supposed to like keep working on the game and making it bigger and bigger, but like people are just like not even playing it anymore. Like, because there's only so much you can play with a Mario Kart game, honestly. Even though like they put a bunch of new things in it and everything, and the cool things that they put in it are really cool and everything, but they're just like I haven't even bought a Switch 2. I don't even intend to buy a Switch 2, honestly. If they make another Super Smash Brothers, then maybe I will get a little more hype. And I am still like a little more hype for the Switch 2 because they have like all the new features and stuff that they added were really cool and nice and everything, but I just don't have the money to spend on that stuff. Like, I just got a Steam Deck recently, and it basically does the exact same stuff that a Switch does, so, like, why do I even need a new Switch, you know? At the same time, the only thing that, like, Nintendo offers that all other game consoles don't offer is their first-party titles, which are superb and everything. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it's expensive. It's a lot of money to, like, out of my pocket, you know? And, like, their competitors, Sony and Microsoft, they're kind of not doing that great, you know? They're not doing that great when it comes to gaming content. Xbox is basically giving up. They're, like, putting Steam on their consoles, and they're basically making it like a PC. And they're porting all of their games onto PC. And Sony's doing the same thing. They're all porting it to, like, Steam and everything, so, like, they don't have any, like, first-party titles to even, like, gravitate towards. And Sony and Microsoft, they're both trying to get on the handheld wars of, like, just making portable PCs, pretty much. Like the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck was a huge success, and the Switch was a success and everything, so that's what Sony and Microsoft are trying to do. It's kind of like, seems like a last-ditch effort, from, like, my perspective, to try to, like, garner, like, more gamers towards their consoles and everything, and towards their branding. Well, I don't think it's gonna work. I honestly don't think it's gonna work because we already have the Steam Deck and everything, and everyone who wanted a Steam Deck already has a Steam Deck or is planning on buying a Steam Deck, and they're not going to buy the new PSP or the new Xbox, like, gamepad, whatever it's called. And I don't think, like, the next console generation is even going to exist. Is it? Who knows? Unless, like, Nintendo saved the Game Crash back in the day because they were using older hardware in more innovative ways and bringing things into, like, the homes. Like, when the Famicom became the Nintendo Entertainment System, it wasn't just a video game console. They labeled it as an entertainment system because they knew that games were declining in America. But they wanted to break the market anyways, so they labeled it as an entertainment system. And ended up saving it because it was not only cheaper, but it also became with, like, Rob the Robot and games, like, pretty much with the console itself. And Nintendo still tries to, like, do that kind of aspect where, like, they bundle things together with, like, Mario Kart and everything. But they're not doing, like, what, God, what was his name? Not Iwata. What's his name? Who invented the Game Boy, right? The person who invented the Game Boy. He had, like, this strategy of, like, taking old technology and reinventing it in newer, more exciting ways. And that way they kept the prices down. Like, look at the Game Boy itself. It didn't even have color. It wasn't even backlit. And yet it still outsold their main competitor, which was the Sega Game Gear, right? They're not opting for that strategy anymore. Nintendo has a new president after Iwata passed away. And his main strategy now is, like, I think it was respect the brands or something. It was something like that. I don't know exactly what the direct quote was, but that's, like, the kind of, like, innovation that he's trying to strive towards. And I don't see it working for Nintendo in the long run because everyone, like, loved Nintendo for their innovation and everything. And while the Switch 2 has some innovation in its technology, it's... They didn't even call it anything else. They called it the Switch 2. Like, they're gonna make the Switch 3, they're gonna make the Switch 4. Is this, like, the direction that they're going in? They're like, this is, like, peak technology. They're not even trying anything else. Like, with the Wii, look how revolutionary that was. They made everyone want to copy the Wii. When the Switch came out, they made everyone want to copy the Switch. Switch 2? Everyone already copied the Switch. So what's the difference, right? What's everyone going to want to do, you know? I don't know. I don't see, like... This is one of the reasons why... Like, I know I got, like, on a huge tangent and everything, but this is, like, a main, like, thing that I'm, like, concerned about with, like, gaming in the future. And why I'm just, like, not as interested in modern gaming anymore, because it's going in that direction where, like, who has the fastest processors, who has the best graphics, etc. And it's like, I don't give a shit anymore. I got a PC that runs games, like, perfectly. Like, I was never a person who was like PC master race. I never grew up like that. I grew up with like consoles and everything. I grew up on a controller. It took me forever to learn how to like WASD and mouse, you know? But nowadays it's like, I'd rather stick to my PC that can already run things perfectly than shell a bunch of money for a console that I'm only gonna care for like 3 games that are exclusive to it. You know, if I get any like game that's like on every console and on PC, I'm obviously getting it on PC. I'm buying it on Steam so I can play it on my Steam Deck, because I don't need to play it on my Switch, because I already got my Steam Deck. Yeah, I'm kind of like, maybe it's because I'm growing up too. I'm trying not to like be a stick in the mud about it or anything. I'm not trying to God, what's the word? I can't remember what that word is, but I'm trying not to be like that about it. But you know, I'm an optimistic person. I see some good things about like these newer games, these newer consoles and everything. But at the same time, like, I'm hesitant to do it because I just can't afford it. Like, that's like the biggest thing. And like, things are getting more expensive in general. And like, if gaming is getting more expensive and I still want to keep gaming, I can continue to game and just not spend any money. There's so many free-to-play games out there. I have so many games in my library. It's like, I don't know, it feels like a little somber and everything, but I feel like there's gotta be like something that really, really innovates what gaming is capable of in order for gamers to actually be minutely interested in like pursuing gaming in the future. Either that, or make things cheaper. Like... You don't have the time to get through, they are growing in playtime with content. Exactly, yeah. Like, I started, like, Mass Effect recently, and I never played Mass Effect before, and I was excited and everything, and I was really enjoying my time with it, but it's such a long game that I haven't really gotten that far in it. Your oldest game's playtime of, like, 12 to 24 hours, while modern games are reaching, like, 500 hours. Yeah, I haven't even finished Death Stranding 2. And I love the first Death Stranding. I put over like 900 hours into Death Stranding. And I did everything in that game. And I'm loving Death Stranding 2 so far, but like, I don't know, at the end of the day, I'm just like exhausted from like working on the computer all day. And when Kai comes home, like, I just want to sit there, spend some time with them and watch something, you know? I don't want to be engaged in a game with my fiance, and like, I'd rather be cuddling on the couch with them while we're watching like a movie or TV show. Xbox has always been a PC. Just with custom ROM and OS, all the hardware has been swappable with PC components. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I never like grew up with like the Xbox or anything. It was never my go-to cup of tea. Like, their first party games never really interest me. Like Halo, and then what? Like, And I'm not a big FPS fan, so I'm like, I don't know. Like, Xbox, the original Xbox was a cool CD player. But that's about it. Look at mini PCs, more powerful than consoles, but smaller. Look, we got PCs in our pockets now. Why do game consoles need to be PCs too? Nintendo has turned into Disney with copyright overreach. Yeah, that too. They're very, like, greedy about that kind of stuff. And it's, like, really getting on a lot of gamers' nerves. And I feel like that's where a lot of, like, their audience is going to start dwindling. Unless they can reach... Like, they're doing a good job in, like, with their, like, movies. Like, actually finally licensing out their games to, like, create movies to, like, garner a new generation of people who love their characters and everything, and that can potentially lead to like their business booming and stuff. But at the same time, like, I don't know, the experiences are nice. Like, I love the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I haven't been to Nintendo Land yet, but I really want to. But I don't know, they are very much becoming Disney in that regard. Moving towards like movies. I mean that's like, they started out as a card company, and then they became a toy company, and then they became a game company. Like, where do you go from there? You start making movies, you start making amusement parks, you become Disney, you become your own juggernaut of like an established like brand, you know? And they're doing a good job at doing that. And I'm not gonna fault them at all for like trying to like go in that direction and things. But at the same time, like, you gotta remember where you like garnered this audience in the first place, and that was video games. And I feel like they're really slipping on that front. You've been a PC gamer for decades. Console, you've only touched maybe 1 month of time in over 20 years. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, like, I've been, like, for me, like, I grew up with consoles, but I've been doing more PC gaming lately, especially now that they got the Steam Deck, and it's basically like a console. And now I'm like, oh man, I have so many games on Steam, and now I can just play it like a console, and that excites me, you know? All the games you got on Xbox, you have on Steam now. Yeah, exactly, like, I don't even think, like, there's no reason to get an Xbox anymore. There's no reason to get a PlayStation anymore, because like I feel like those companies just gave up because like they ported, like, the only reason to get those consoles was one, like, okay, back then when they started trying to like make it like home entertainment systems, like making it like a CD player, making it a DVD player, making it a Blu-ray player, letting you stream like Netflix through their consoles. Now all that stuff is obsolete because no one has physical media anymore, and everyone has a smart TV now, which does like makes everything streamable. Like, I watch YouTube on my smart TV now. It's like, I don't need my PS3 or my PS4 to play YouTube because I'm watching it on my TV still, but it's just through my TV because it's a smart TV. Like, it's all that stuff is becoming obsolete, and the only reason like game systems, like people would want to get like game systems and everything is for their first party games, I feel. Because otherwise, people are just gonna either want to play on their phone or on their PC, right? Or you can even play games on your TV now, which that blew my mind. Also, I've just realized my TV's on, but the picture's off. It was muted with the picture off. What the heck? Turn that off. Disney has become too big and must be broken up. They control too large of a share of the entertainment industry, and I refer to all aspects: games, films, toys, books, cruises, and parks. Yeah, so they've always been like a juggernaut, like almost like a monopoly in like the entertainment industry. Like, there's like the big six, right? There's NBC Universal, and then there's Disney and Sony, etc. The big six juggernauts in the entertainment industry. Disney, I don't see them falling out anytime soon because a lot of their revenue actually comes from the amusement park and merchandise. But in terms of like content, like actual like media that they're producing, they're slipping substantially in that. Like Lilo and Stitch did pretty well. They spent a lot of money on that really bad Snow White film. I don't know if you guys seen it. It was really bad. It was really bad and I don't recommend it. And they spent so much money on it. I don't understand how you can spend that much money on that piece of crap. Honestly. It was so bad. And they put so much money into it. It is frustrating to me, like, as someone who's, like, grown up trying to become a filmmaker and everything, and seeing them spend that much money, like, that was a very poor production choice. I don't even know, if you watch that movie, I have no idea where that money went. Where did they dump that money? What did they put that money into? Because it's not even, like, a visually spectacular film or anything. Like, the cast, like, the cast kind of ruined, like, things behind the scenes, and that's why people were boycotting the film and everything. But the film itself, in general, even if the cast wasn't like that, it was still a bad movie to begin with. It's a bad idea for a movie, too. Like, I understand them trying to, like, go back to the roots and everything, and trying to, like, you know, they're making their live-action movies and everything, and, like, what better way to, like, capitalize on, like, the nostalgia of, like, classic Disney than going back to their first animated feature that like put them on the map. But they did it handled so poorly, and it's such an outdated movie to begin with that like modern day audiences did not give a shit. Honestly. I don't know who that was made for. Actually, I think I know who that was trying to be made for. But Disney completely underestimated their market. And it was just watching like a fire, like a house burning down on screen. I watched it sober too. So I remember everything about it. I wish I was drinking during it, honestly. It was a bad movie. It was a bad movie. Anyways. All Xbox games you have can be played on PC through the MS Store linking. Exactly, yeah. Like you can get the Xbox the Game Pass for Xbox, and you can just use it to buy games, or like not even buy games because you bought the Game Pass, right? You could just use it to play free games, or they're not free, I guess, but like the subscription gives you the rights to play games on your PC too. So you don't even need the console to be doing that, either. Disney has killed both Marvel and Star Wars. I mean, they're trying to bring it back. Hopefully Kevin Feige, like, figures something out. Like, Fantastic Four, I'm still hyped for. I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually watching it tonight. I'm watching that tonight. I mean, if they kept James Gunn on there and, like, had him, like, fix the cinematic universe, that would have been awesome, too, and everything. But, like, James Gunn is now, like, working with DC. And I don't know if you guys watched the new Superman, but it was fantastic. I never gave a shit about Superman growing up because I was always a Marvel fan. And like Superman, he's just like, what is it called? Like a freaking the character that like it's like a self-insert in fan fictions, and like everyone immediately loves them and everything. Well, what is that like trope called? Yeah, Mary Sue. Superman's like the Mary Sue of superheroes, right? So I never really gave a shit about Superman because it's like, oh, he has every power, you know, who gives a crap? But James Gunn like actually did a fantastic job in making Superman not only relatable, but like something that you want to root for. And like he wasn't invincible, and you could see like from the very beginning that he was like a flawed superhero, even though like people like usually have the impression that like he is like this untouchable force. And that's what freaking Zack Snyder did with him. I realized recently I don't like anything that Zack Snyder's ever put out. I like Dawn of the Dead, and that's it. Everything else that he's ever done, everything I've seen from him, I didn't like. I don't like any of his films. And Kai just made me watch all of the Snyderverse movies recently. And I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it. I didn't give a shit about Superman. I thought Batman was implemented poorly. The Flash movie was kind of like all over the place, and like Flash himself was really annoying. But I like, again, I never like grew up with DC comics or anything, but James Gunn did. He was a super fan of Superman, right? That, like, the original Superman, I watched a video recently where he talked about like the original Superman that came out like, I don't even remember what year, but it was like it's like his favorite movie because he grew up with it, and like it inspired him to become a filmmaker in general. And now it's amazing that he's like the front behind like the DCU, and I, for the first time in my life, actually care about DC, you know? Other than Christopher Nolan's Batman, right? Because like I like Christopher Nolan half the time. I didn't care about The Prestige. I didn't care about what's that other one? Inception. I didn't care about that movie. I thought Inception was kind of like stupid. That movie was stupid, but I love Oppenheimer. I loved the photo one, Memento. I loved Memento. And the Batman trilogy that I did, I really liked the Dark Knight. Batman Begins was okay, and I couldn't sit through Dark Knight Rises. I thought it was too long. So Christopher Nolan, I love Christopher Nolan half the time, and that's why I really cared about Batman in that regard. Also, like Tim Burton's Batman, the original Tim Burton's Batman. That was a great movie with like Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Like, he was always my favorite Joker, and then Heath Ledger's Joker came out, and like I can't even compare the two because they were so good at what they did. And then Jared Leto Joker came out, and I know some people like it, a lot of people didn't, and I'm one of those people who didn't like Jared Leto's Joker. But hopefully Kevin Feige figures something out. I am hyped for Fantastic Four. No spoilers on it right now. Yes, first. He was a great musician. I don't really like him as an actor, honestly. And I'm definitely not following his cold. God, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I haven't seen the new Fantastic Four. No spoilers, obviously. I'm not going to spoil it when I do for the next stream, because I'm going to watch it tonight. I might have general things to say about it, but if it's good, I'll say exactly like how it was with James Gunn's Superman. It's good, and you should watch it, you know? If you're a DC fan, if you're a hero fan in general, if you liked Guardians of the Galaxy, you will love this new Superman, this new take on Superman, because it's fantastic. And not only does it set up, like, what this new Superman is in this universe, it sets up the entirety of what the DCEU is going to be now that James Gunn is the front man in the project. And like Peacemaker was an amazing show. That was so good. That was such a good show. I can't wait for season 2. But God, they did kind of ruin Marvel for like a time there. I just hope that they bring it back, you know, because so many people were like hyped for like when Endgame came out and like the Avengers and stuff, and like I was so hyped like during those moments too. And then like all the TV shows came out. Did you guys see Echo? Did you guys see that Echo TV show? Like, people like complain about She-Hulk. People complain about God, what was the other one that Secret Invasion, right? Samuel Jackson. I love him. He did not save that show. She-Hulk wasn't that great. But if you haven't seen Echo, my God, I think that's the worst one that they did. That was like the worst one that they did. And Miss Marvel wasn't great either. The film The Marvels was kind of bad, kind of really bad, honestly. I just want them to like bring it back because they're building up, and they spend so much money on this new Doomsday project that they're doing. They're building up to it, and I hope in my heart of hearts that they figure out something good. I mean, they got Kevin Feige working on it. He saved it once. Maybe he'll save it again. Who knows? I'm not holding my breath, but I am looking forward to it a little bit. Like what the MCU has in the future. It's just that Ant-Man Quantumania happened. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm not reading your chat. Where was I in it? Oh yeah, they killed Star Wars too. They did kill Star Wars. I don't even know if they can save Star Wars at this point. Honestly, they could. If they try to make another trilogy and they have Rey as like the main cast, like I don't know how good that's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be good, honestly. Honestly, if I had to like give you my honest opinion, and like the spin-off shows, Rogue One was fine. Solo, I'd never seen, but I heard it wasn't that great. Some of the shows were really, I heard mixed opinions on. Mandalorian was great. I haven't seen the latest season of it. I like the Acolyte, but a lot of people don't. And that's fine if you don't. I'm not gonna try to like debate it because I saw flaws in certain aspects of the series as well. But I still don't think it was as bad as Episode 9. Or they brought back Palpatine. Like, why'd they do that? Anyways, Adam Warlock and Miss Marvel, those two have all the powers and are nearly unlikable. I mean, I like the Captain Marvel. I liked Captain Marvel. I can see Miss you're talking about Kamala Khan, right? I can see her kind of being a Mary Sue, right? If you played the Avengers game, you know exactly what I'm talking about with that. Like, literally, the first scene, the first sequence in that game, in the Avengers game, you play as Kamala Khan. She's like the main character. Look, she's not even a superhero yet, right? And all the superheroes, like, go to her and talk to her specifically. I'm like, dude, this plays like bad fan fiction, dude. This is like freaking, like, Sonic Forces levels of, like, Mary Sue shit happening, you know? The Flash movie, they brought back Michael Keaton to play Batman and used his Batjet too. Yeah, it was cool, like, to see, like, the throwbacks and everything, and, like, it was kind of goofy at the end to have what's his name show up as, like, the new Batman of the universe and everything, which I really appreciated because George Clooney showed up at the end. I don't know if that's spoilers or not, but I kind of laughed at that. You know, it was kind of like a good joke, but at the same time, were they actually planning on, like, continuing the DCU like that? Was George Clooney gonna be Batman again? Now we'll never know. Now we'll never know, and, like, everything that happened in that movie is completely irrelevant now. So who cares? Yeah, Jared Leto was bad. Have you seen the series Gotham? I have not, because I don't watch a lot of TV shows, as I mentioned a lot before. But I heard that the Gotham TV show is actually pretty good, pretty decent. At least my fiance is a big fan of it. Cameron Monaghan? Monaghan? I think it's Monaghan. Is the Joker in there, and with Jedi Survivor makes him the second actor to have played both Joker and Jedi with Mark Hamill. Dude, that rocks. That's a cute little piece of information, or like trivia. Cameron, all the Batmans I've seen is in the top 3 Jokers. All right. Yeah, I can't say that I'm familiar with him. Your old school Marvel, for you, Captain Marvel is still Miss Marvel. Yeah, pretty much. pretty much. I mean, they had like the Marvels movie again. Like, I watched it, didn't like it, wasn't good, bombed in the box office. No one wanted it. And also, no one watched. I don't think anyone watched the TV show, did they? I watched the TV show, so I was all caught up with the lore and everything. But it was still bad. Like, I don't really, like, care for Comic-Con. Like, I love that, like, they gave the actress, and no faults on the actress, I think she does good with what she's given, but how they're writing her character is, she's kind of obnoxious. She's kind of obnoxious, and I'm not a fan of, like, her in particular. Because she's, like, a superhero fanboy and everything. And it's just like, oh my god. Like, I don't want to see this represented. Like, what is Disney trying to tell, like, Marvel fans, right? That, like, oh, she's one of you. She's just like you. Look at her. She's just like you. She acts just like you. No, she's obnoxious. There was a Marvel Avengers game that came out. Yeah, I was talking about that. Yes, Comic-Con. Comic-Con, or whatever. Am I pronouncing that right? Kamala Khan, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Like I said, she's just a Mary Sue in that game. Before she even gets her powers, like, her dad takes her to, like, this Avengers, like, theme park or something. And literally, like, Thor comes down with a bolt of lightning to say, hey, what's up? Are you a fan of me? That's really cool. And then Captain America comes up to her and he's like, hey, you're a cool kid. Keep being you. And stuff like that. And I'm like, they literally wrote a Mary Sue. They're literally turning Kamala Khan into a Mary Sue. And apparently in the comics, she's not like that at all. Apparently in the comics, because like my fiance is a big fan of the comics. I don't read the comics myself, but my fiance is a big fan of the comics, and she loved Kamala Khan in the comics. But they hate her. They hate her in like the Marvel adaptation, like cinematic universe and everything. And obviously, like in the game, it was influenced by the by like the movies and everything. So it's that Kamala Khan, right? And she's obnoxious. She's annoying. She's unlikable. She's just a Mary Sue too, because like everyone in the universe loves her and everything, and they want to get along with her and everything. And like, even in the Marvels show, she was so cringe. She's like, oh my god, I'm meeting my heroes and everything. Oh my god, fangirling and everything. And it was so cringe, man. It was just so cringy, dude. Like, I couldn't even fucking bear. Like, in the comics, I heard that, like, originally she was supposed to be a mutant, right? But because of, like, Disney taking over and them not wanting to produce any more mutants for the X-Men and everything, because Fox still owned X-Men at the time, she became, what was the other one that they called? The Inhuman. She was an Inhuman. They made her an Inhuman, but she was always meant to be a mutant. So in the comics, apparently, recently, she died, right? But then was brought back to life, and now she's a mutant. But I don't understand, like, what is... like, are they going to do that in the movies? Is it going to link to the comic books at all? Is the comic books going to completely scrap that? Because they do this. The comic books do this, where they scrap ideas that they initially have for, like, the characters and make it fit so that it has synergy alongside the actual live-action media. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy did that. The Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books were completely different how James Gunn imposed them onto, like, the screen, right? And now in the comic books, they're exactly like how they are in the movies. I think the same thing happened to Deadpool. The same thing happened to like a bunch of different like characters in comic book history. And I feel like the same thing's gonna happen to Kamala Khan, and they're gonna just ruin her in the comic books too. But I don't know. I don't read the comic books, and I'm pretty sure if they end up doing that, it's gonna piss a lot of people off. One of the reasons I hate the changing to Captain Marvel is because in the comics there is a Captain Marvel. You can't have two characters with the same name in the same universe. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I've heard something about like them having like a Captain Marvel or something in DC or something, or like Mr. Marvel or something, and then like Marvel Comics like made their own character or something. I don't know like the direct history about that, but like DC and Marvel like had that whole like spiel of like copying one another back in the day. That's why we have Deadpool in Marvel, and we have Deathstroke in DC, you know? Like they were copying each other with their characters back in the day. So now like we got like they're basically like the same thing, you know? They're basically like, you know, we got the Lanterns in DC, and then we got the Skrulls in Marvel, you know? It's confusing when you like get down to like the names and like talking about like the universes like tangentially against each other. But I don't know, that's why I read some of the comics before. I don't really like reading a lot of the comics. I just found out that Kai has the V for Vendetta graphic novel, and I want to read that. But I'm not very excited to read funny books, you know? To read the funny books, to read the funny pages, you know? One, I just like don't read in general too much anymore. If I do end up reading things, I usually tend to read like philosophy or like things that are like nonfiction nowadays, I suppose. Because that just interests me more. But like when it comes to film, I feel like well, I do love watching like documentaries and stuff, but I feel like film is a much better medium when it comes to like nonfiction, at least for me. At least for me. Or rather fiction for me. I know it's like people prefer fiction in any case, but for me, I prefer it on screen. Sometimes every now and then like I would read a fiction story or whatnot, but most of the time when I'm reading, it's something nonfiction. Like philosophy or sometimes I read like fictional tales that like teach philosophical values, because that's just what interests me. Deadpool in the movies, there was aspects they could not do that because could be done in the comics. Deadpool in the comics can reach into other panels. You can use the text. Yeah, I've seen that happen. And you know, if you didn't watch the She-Hulk movie, they tried doing that. Or the TV show. They tried doing that in the She-Hulk TV show. It was really stupid. She, like, I know there's kind of spoilers, but who cares about the She-Hulk TV show? The last episode, she stops the show and she like calls out the writers in particular, like, really, this is how we're gonna end this? No, let me talk to someone about this. And she gets up out of the Disney Plus apps, you know, because like it's Disney Plus show. So she comes out of the apps and she goes to like the writers of the TV show to complain. And it's really bad, dude. It's really bad. So they could do that with Deadpool and everything, and I know they do that in the comics and everything, and like still Deadpool breaks the fourth wall in the movies and stuff, but he doesn't do that he doesn't like that She-Hulk did, because I don't think you can really implement that really well and not have it be kind of cringy. Like, there's an extent that the fourth wall can be broken when it comes to, like, films and everything. And I feel like there's a fine line that, like, needs to be drawn where you're overstepping the boundaries a little bit. It's kind of like how Conker's Bad Fur Day ended. In Conker's Bad Fur Day, like, a xenomorph is like the final boss, and he pauses the game and like criticizes like the game developers and like throws caution to the wind. He brings up the Matrix and like he grabs a katana and hacks off the head of like the xenomorph, and it's just like, where did that come from, right? I feel like if you're going to do that, there at least needs to be some build-up, but in both of those examples, like, there's no build-up to it whatsoever. It just comes out of nowhere, and it's kind of cringy, honestly. And I get why the developers of Conker's Bad Fur Day did that at the end, because they were creating a game that they just didn't give a shit anymore. They were literally, like, being punk rock about that video game, right? So they like threw everything in there. There's like a shit battle, like where you fight a giant piece of shit. There's like so much obscenities. There was one thing that that Nintendo forced them to cut, which was like Nazi scientists experimenting on a live individual. They were just like throwing everything into that game, and it's almost comical, but at the same time it's kind of like, well, where, if he had those powers the entire time, like, where was the build up to that at all? This is the final boss. It should have been like the big panther guy, but no, he has to die, and then the final boss is a xenomorph from Aliens, which I get, like, the game was like referencing films throughout the whole game and everything, but it's just like all that build up to like a strange final boss, and it wasn't even like the most fun final boss in the game to begin with. And then like you throw it out of the airlock 3 times, right? You do the whole Bowser like tossing thing, right? And then he just like pulls out like the Matrix and like summons a katana and like chops its head off, and then he becomes freaking the king, and then they have their last final Clockwork Orange reference, right? And then that's the game. And it's like, what? I don't know, I got on a tangent again, but that's just like an example of like, yeah, you can break the fourth wall in media like that, but there's got to be like some like fine line that needs to be drawn to actually make sense for the viewer or the gamer, whatever. And I think She-Hulk partially failed in that aspect. And I appreciate like some of the fourth wall breaking that Deadpool does in the films. Yeah, he doesn't go all out like he does in the comics, sure, but I think it's better that way, honestly. I think it's better that you have that distinct line, and maybe the filmmakers of the Deadpool films saw that and kept it like that and did not try to do what the creators of the She-Hulk show did and make it really cringy. In Marvel, it's not Skrull, it's Kree? Oh yeah, okay. Skrull is an alien species and are villains. Well, they're villains sometimes, right? Kree are also aliens, but they are protectors and will spread their powers to people of other races. That is where Miss Marvel got her powers. Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard about the Kree, like, briefly in the shows, but I don't really know much about them. I know more about the Skrulls just because, like, they've appeared in more things. Like, they were in Secret Invasion, obviously. Super Skrull appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom. And Super Skrull is also in Secret Invasion, and they kind of ruined that, too. Oh my god, there was this one aspect in Secret Invasion that, like, made me lose all hope for the show. So this is this aspect, like, in one of the episodes, one of the characters dies. And it's like, oh my god, okay, big twist, right? But then the very next episode, it was like, oh, they didn't actually die, it was a Skrull. It was a Skrull pretending to be them. And I'm just like, alright, The MCU is finished. Because now they can bring back any character that they want and just say whoever died, oh, that was a Skrull. That was a Skrull disguised as that character. I'm just like, fuck off, man. It completely diminished everything about that character's, like, about all the emotional trauma that, like, ended up becoming of that character's death. And that's a very poor thing to do when you're, like, writing for, like, a show or a movie or anything like that. You do not just kill a character, make a big deal out of it, and then suddenly the character is back on screen, right? You don't do that. Unless, like, the character is revived or the character doesn't actually die. You can't just, like, say, like, oh, it wasn't actually that character. It was a character disguised as that character. So now this character is actually alive again. And it's like, no, you don't do that. You do not do that. You do not do that to us. You do not do that to us. That show is bad. And I really don't recommend it. Even if, okay, I only recommend one scene. I recommend the scene where Samuel L. Jackson is making out with a hot alien green chick. I recommend that scene. But that's it. That's it. The rest of that show is bad. Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool was the writer, producer, and screenplay creator. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm glad. Like he actually loves and is passionate about that character, and it's amazing because he was also like the original actor in that X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, right? He was Deadpool there too, but they ruined him by taking away the only thing that made the character. It was the merc with the mouth. When you take away the mouth, you just got a mercenary, a generic dude. A generic dude with powers, and he just like looks at you like, I'm gonna get you. But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything cool or funny. He has no quips. And it's like, well, what the? This character's like just a generic like bad dude now. I'm glad they're like retconning that and like making him like an actual character of how he is in the comics and everything now in the MCU. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine was a great movie, and I honestly think that's, like, up there with one of my favorite superhero movies in recent times. I just hope that, like, there's some good that's going to eventually come out of the MCU. Like, Disney now owns, like, all of the Marvel characters, so, like, they're putting in X-Men, they're putting in Fantastic Four, all that cool stuff, and they're building up to a new Avengers and everything, and it's something to be hype about. But with like how they've been handling some of their stuff in the past, like it makes a lot of viewers and fans like cautiously optimistic. Like how I was with Metal Gear Delta coming out. It's like I was cautiously optimistic because of how Konami treated the IP and the original creator to begin with. But now Delta like actually just looks like it's just the same game, but like they put in Snake versus Monkey and they're bringing back like the online gameplay and stuff. And they're bringing back everything, like even the Secret Theater. And it's just the same game, but with more, like, modern elements and, obviously, graphics. And there are a lot of things that I hope that they bring into that game, but I'm no longer cautiously optimistic. I'm actually hyped for it now. I'm actually hyped for it now. And right now, at the time, I'm still a little cautiously optimistic about, like, the state of MCU. I am looking forward to some of the films that they have coming out. Oh my god, The Punisher is going to get like an hour-long special, like the Werewolf by Night, right? He's going to get one of those soon coming up, and I'm hyped for that because I love The Punisher. And Daredevil Born Again was a great show. So it's like a meme. I'm not sure if you've seen the meme on like Facebook and everything, or on any kind of social media platform. I mostly see it posted on Facebook because there's a lot of like grumpy old men on Facebook. There's this meme where it's like, MCU's back, MCU's dead. MCU's back, MCU's dead. Like with like every release, like there's a good release, and then there's a bad release, and then there's a good release, and then there's a bad release. It's like every other movie or show that comes out is either good or bad. And hopefully there's more good coming up soonish. Hopefully there's some things to be hyped about, like they're bringing back Blade, they're bringing back the Punisher, they got X-Men and Fantastic Four coming in, and they got female Silver Surfer, which is gonna have a lot of fan art that I'm probably gonna look up. Galactus actually looks like Galactus. You know? Oh man, hang on. In Deadpool and Wolverine, they missed out on using two versions of Pool, Gwenpool and the gray and black suit with X symbol. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like I said, I don't really keep up too much with the comics, but like that would have definitely I mean, I heard of Gwenpool. My fiance is a fan of that version of Deadpool. They had like a female Deadpool in there, but I don't think it was necessarily Gwenpool. I think it was just a female Deadpool. They had the little dog. That dog was cute. Now the dog in Superman. That was like the highlight of the new Superman movie was the dog. And usually I don't like care about like when films like bring out like pets or whatever, it's like gonna be like this annoying like creature that's gonna be on screen that they're gonna give like way too much screen time to. But like Superman actually handled Crypto like superbly, and thankfully that little ugly dog that they gave to Deadpool wasn't too obstructive of like the majority of the movie, even though it was like in most of the like the promotion and stuff. I was like afraid that like, oh no, it's gonna be like this like little sidekick and they're gonna give it too much screen time, but like they actually implemented like he was only in a couple scenes and that was it, you know. The gray and black suit is Deadpool's suit for while he was in X-Force. Oh, okay. Silver Surfer is not a fixed character. They are a being that can be anyone. Yeah, and I know there's a female Silver Surfer in the comic books and everything. That's why a lot of conservatives who are like, oh my god, why are they making Silver Surfer a woman? What the heck? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, dude, you're stupid. Like, if you have a complaint, bring up the source material first. If it was originally there, then they're actually doing their job. If it wasn't there and it was something that they created like out of thin air, or like they changed like an aspect of the character like for no reason and then they made the character worse, then you have a right to complain. But if like the character is in, like if that's actually part of the source material, then like you have no right to complain. Like especially like with like people were complaining about like Superman's backstory in this recent one, but like that's actually like I asked my fiance about it, and they were like, oh yeah, sometimes like Superman's backstory changes, you know? It's a different Superman. It's just a different take on Superman, you know? Every version of Deadpool in the movie was in the comics. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. They need to bring Jeff the Shark in the movies. Especially since Marvel Rivals Jeff the Shark has been like a fan favorite recently. And I think I saw like a like an image of like Deadpool like handing a gun to like Jeff the Shark, and he's like, here, protect these children. like I could see them doing something absurd and goofy like that was actually in the comics, but put it on screen, like an adaptation on screen for that. Like I think that would just be like really cool. That would be funny. It'd be fun. It would be like it would be a form of fan service too. So like it would like make people happy to like have that kind of stuff, or it might annoy people. Who knows? You can't please everyone. You literally can't please everyone, because even like with this new Superman movie that came out, there's so many critics against the film and everything. They're like, oh, bring back the Snyderverse. It's like, this movie's way better than anything Zack Snyder ever put out. At least these are my opinions. Obviously, all these like film things, like they're like opinions. Obviously, like no one's trying to like make a definitive answer of like what's the best like movie adaptation of this character or anything. Because like everyone's gonna have their own different opinion of it. So it's like, like, people can complain or, like, bitch about, like I straight up, like, saw people, like, saying that, like, everyone who's had a positive review for this new Superman movie were paid. But it's like, did you even watch the movie? I don't know. And allegedly, some people did, and, like, made a really stupid review that's been wholly memed on. I'm not gonna point out any individuals, but he had this famous picture that was memed, and he was like, you might know who I'm talking about. You might know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I think the MCU has the potential to be saved, but again, cautiously optimistic about it. Cautiously optimistic. Man, we have been going on straight up super big tangents on this stream. Like, you guys got to be talking about video games and comic books. Man, I sound like a freaking nerd. Do you guys think I'm a freaking nerd? Like, you guys think I'm a freaking nerd or something? MCU changed both Wanda and Pietro. In comics, they are Magneto's kids. Oh, yeah. And are mutants. The movies, they are given powers by one of the stones, and no word of Magneto. Yeah, but I mean, that's because, like, at the time, Disney didn't own the rights to the X-Men. That was still a thing with Fox. They might retcon that now that they own the X-Men, or they might bring a new Wanda from, like, an alternate universe, because now they have everything open up to them because they have the multiverse open up and shit. But in the comics, Wanda was with the Avengers more, and yes, she studied under Doctor Strange because she can control magic. Yeah. I didn't mind this adaptation of Wanda, though. Wanda and Vision. I actually liked the show WandaVision. Not just because it was a comic book movie or in the MCU. I actually really loved the direction that the show went in. And, like, being a Hallmark callback to, like, those earlier, like, sitcoms and everything. And, like, going through, like, the generations of different ones. I thought that was really spectacularly done. I think we're supposed to be getting a new Vision show coming up because it kind of left with a cliffhanger of, like, White Vision just, like, flying away and you never see him again. There's a lot of things in the MCU that they like, didn't go back to. Recently, in the recent Captain America one, they finally addressed the giant freaking thread that was, like, no one was talking about it, that was, like, brought up in Eternals. That giant freaking what was it called? Like, the Titan, I think? The giant Titan in, like, the middle of the ocean that literally no one was talking about. And it's like, how could you ignore something that big? But they finally addressed it in the Captain America movie, and they're trying to tie it in with the X-Men, because I think they were mining the Titan and they found adamantium. So obviously, like, that's like what Wolverine's made out of, right? I don't know. Are they going to bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? I literally can't see any other actor as Wolverine nowadays. Wanda is more power than the Infinity Stones. She has more power than the Infinity Stones? She could change reality to that the stones never existed. Yeah, I mean, she was, like, I don't think they really played up a lot in the MCU of, like, the kind of powers that she had and everything. But, like, there were, like, specific instances where she was pretty, it's like, how do you stop this kind of threat, you know? Like in WandaVision, and, what superseded WandaVision? I can't remember. I don't know. She was kind of downplayed in Doctor Strange, I feel like. I like that movie because of Sam Raimi and everything. I think there was a lot of, like, cool scenes and everything, but I feel like they downplayed her character a little too much. They try to, like, make her more relatable and more of, like, a an empathetic antagonist, but she died at the end of that, right? I can't remember. I can't remember if she died at the end of that or not. I don't know. I just watched that. I just rewatched that movie recently too. Hank Pym created Ultron in the comics, but somehow chemist Bruce Banner created him. Laura would carry the Wolverine mantle in the movies. Who? Oh, X-23, really? She was in Logan movie and Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Yeah, I remember her. Yeah. And I remember her originally because she was also in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's where I first heard of her, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, the more, like, there's more Wolverine, like, there was more people in that kind of project, right? Like, he was, like, the prototype, and then X-23 is, like, another, like, basically, like, a female Wolverine. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that they're going to bring more X-23 into the MCU. I didn't hear anything like about that. I don't really like to spoil myself in certain things. I do know like some of the projects that they have working on. Like I said, like Blade and the Punisher, and I think they're going to make another like Daredevil TV show and everything. Lady Deathstrike was created before Wolverine. That name sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, okay. I remember her from the movies. Right, she was in, yeah, X2. She's got the long fingernails. Is she gonna be in the new MCU? Wow, she's cool in the comics. Yo, she looks awesome in the comics. Why didn't she look like that? She just looks like... In the next two, they just made her a lady with long fingernails. She was in Deadpool and Wolverine. Really? When? I'm not even seeing, X-Men 2. Was she in it? Well. Oh, okay. She was one of the people who like died in the yeah, she was banished to the void. That's right. Okay. That's why I forgot about her. She died. Yeah, but still, like, they made her, like, a lady with long fingernails. Like, in the comics, like, I was seeing, like, pictures of her, like, with these giant freaking, like, arms, and she had, like, this, like, samurai-looking armor or something. She looks cool in the comics. Like, that's one of the cool things I like about, like, the modern, like, comic book movies and stuff that are happening. Like, the characters actually look like how they do in the comic books. Like, that's at least one thing that I can, like, pull from, like, modern adaptations of the comic books. Like everyone was trying to like do something different, especially in DC. Remember that freaking I think it was Teen Titans or something, where like the characters didn't even look like how they looked or anything. And then there was like multiple instances where that happened, right? Like X-Men and other films and stuff, like not really like making them how they looked because they're like, oh, I have this different vision of them, I want to make them look more realistic. But no, man, they're comic books. They're supposed to be fun and everything, you know? You're supposed to like see them in these bright, vibrant colors because like they're superheroes, man, and that's why we like them. That's why we grew up with them and everything. Well, I didn't really like grow up with them. Honestly, I didn't really read the comic books or anything, but like I appreciated like the original designs of those characters, and like luckily now like people like filmmakers are starting to see that's part of the appeal of their characters in the first place is the designs, and that's why I appreciate like them trying to go for that. Oh, like Wolverine himself in like X-Men Origins Wolverine, like that film and that era of comic books, like everyone was like straying away from like how they actually looked. But like in Deadpool Wolverine, when like he puts on the actual mask and he actually looks like Wolverine, I'm like, Oh my god, dude, this is giving me hype, you know. And it was a great film to like to end off with, you know, and everything. And it was a hopeful look into like the future of the MCU too, because I hope that like they continue like rocking it like that, you know. Loki season 1 was good. Loki season 2 kind of faltered. It was okay, I think. What else came out of? Moon Knight was spectacular, but now they're not making a Moon Knight season 2, which is unfortunate. But I think that's because Oscar Isaac didn't really want to reprise the role or anything, so they're just kind of like canning it. They're making a lot of changes now, and like some of them are really good changes, some of them are a little disappointing, you know. But in the end, they're trying to make something cohesive, and I hope they make something good, you know. X-Men First Class, that was an attempt to continue the X-Men movies with younger actors. Yes, and they didn't do a good job at that. Everything after like X-Men Origins and everything, all those X-Men movies, they were just like not good. Logan was good. I didn't like the Wolverine where he goes to Japan. I fell asleep during that movie because I just didn't like it. It might be good. It might be worth like rewatch or something, but like I didn't like it at the time. God, what else? I don't know. That thing, I'm like rambling back and forth between like the old X-Men movies and like the new Marvel like MCU stuff, and like bottom line is they did some good stuff, they did some bad stuff, and I hope they do some good stuff soon. I'm really looking forward to this Fantastic Four movie though. Like I am, like all the actors, I love all the actors that they had cast for it. Everything that I've been seeing so far, like it actually looks like the Fantastic Four for the first time. Seeing Galactus as Galactus and not just a giant space cloud is probably what like made me the most hype, honestly. If I'm being like 100% honest, like Galactus not being a giant space cloud is what I'm most excited for tonight to watch this movie. Out of everything else, I'm just like, it's Galactus now, man. He gonna eat the world, or he gonna try to, but they gonna stop him, cause that's what happened, cause it's a superhero movie, right? With Wanda, she is more powerful than the stones because she can control reality alter it at will, sorry. This control in her is her mutant ability. The Chaos Bolts are her magic ability. Oh, okay. Yeah, she didn't have mutant abilities because, like, Disney didn't have, like, the rights to X-Men, right? So they couldn't make her a mutant, right? It makes a lot of sense. Like, I could see them, like, making, like, a new Wanda, right? Maybe, like, a new Wanda will appear in, this Vision show, that they're supposedly going to be making. I can't remember what it's called. Vision Quest. There's gonna be a new miniseries called Vision Quest. I think it's going to like star like the new White Vision that like fucks off at the end of WandaVision. I don't know exactly what it's gonna be about, but maybe it's going to introduce some new characters, maybe like rewrite some lore or something. I don't know. There's got to be a reason why they're making it, right? And not only to bring back Vision or tell us what the hell happened, you know? In the comics, she decided that there was no mutants, and instantly every single mutant lost their powers. She just decided that. It's like, oh, you know what? You guys don't exist anymore. That's overpowered as fuck, dude. That's way too overpowered, man. I mean, like, in the comics, doesn't, the Secret Wars, right? In Secret Wars, in the comics, isn't her kid, her child, responsible for, like, a total, like, rewriting of the universe? And that's why we got like so many new characters and new storylines in the comic book series. I think I remember hearing something about that. And they just introduced her kid in Agatha. I don't know if you guys seen that one, but they introduced her kid, and he's gay. Maybe they're gonna go with something like that. I heard a theory that maybe this was something that I watched on like Film Theory or something. I heard a theory that's what's going to lead into the events of we're gonna get Avengers Doomsday, and then we're gonna get Avengers Secret Wars, like how we did with Endgame and the other one. What was it called? What was the other one called? Infinity War. We got Infinity War, and then we got Endgame. So they're doing the same thing where they're gonna like do two different Avengers movies, and they're probably gonna be like 4 hours long each or something, because they got a lot of shit to put in. They're gonna bring back Eternals. They're gonna bring back what's his name? The Chinese guy with the rings, right? Yeah, Shang-Chi. I didn't want to get his name wrong, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're gonna bring back Shang-Chi, they're gonna bring back Eternals, they're gonna bring back all your favorites. They're gonna bring back Howard the Duck. Still waiting for that Howard the Duck movie, guys. Oh my god, not the Lucas one, not the Lucas one. Oh my, that'd be so. I mean, they've been bringing him back into like Guardians of the Galaxy. He's been making cameos every now and then. He's in God, what's the TV show called? The Watcher TV show. What If? He's like make cameos in What Ifs. There's straight up. There was like straight up an episode where it was just about Howard the Duck and like his woman, you know. And like they were having a kid together, and it was freaking weird. Yeah, he cameoed in the third Guardians. He was in the first one too. I think in the post-credit scene, right? But we're getting that movie, right? Everyone's hyped. Everyone's hyped for a Howard the Duck movie, right? A new Howard the Duck movie, starring Howard the Duck, where he just fucks white women. Oh my god, I like annoy Kai all the time by bringing up Howard the Duck, because they're like, no one wants Howard the Duck, and I'm like, yes, Howard the Duck. Because honestly, it's stupid, but that's the reason I like it. I like Howard the Duck because it's so stupid and no one wants it, and that's what makes me want it even more, because it would be hilarious. Oh my god. That's why we're gonna get a Howard the Duck movie. We're gonna get a Howard the Duck movie. Then we're gonna get 2 seasons of a Howard the Duck TV show. We're gonna get 2 full seasons, like 12 episodes each, and then he's going to be the main protagonist in Doomsday. That's what's gonna happen to MCU. That's gonna save the MCU. No, but apparently Ironheart's supposed to be like the main protagonist in like the upcoming Doomsday, isn't it? That's what my fiance told me at the very least. I don't know if that's like confirmed or anything. I haven't done my own research or anything. I haven't even seen the Ironheart TV show yet. I've been needing to. Because I'm friends with someone who actually worked on the TV show. So I've been needing to check it out, but I just haven't had the time, and Kai really doesn't want to watch anything like that right now, so I'm kind of up in the air until like Kai is like ready to watch something like that, and I'm just like, okay, I guess we're just gonna watch all the Star Wars movies again. Because apparently they have no complaints in rewatching every single Star Wars film, even though we've both seen every single Star Wars film multiple times. Well, I've only seen like the Disney sequels once, but that was very recently. Ironheart is the replacement of Iron Man. Yeah, I know that. In the comics in the MCU, she was introduced in the second Black Panther movie. Yeah, I know. I've seen Wakanda Forever. I've seen it, and I thought she was decent in it. is the character really a replacement for Tony Stark though? Like specifically like Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark's Iron Man? Like he was such an iconic character and actor and everything, and that's what put the MCU like into fruition. Like they're trying to replace like they obviously need to replace these like iconic characters like Captain America and Iron Man. And they're using Ironheart and they're using Falcon, and it's kind of mixed results, honestly. And then they addressed this in the new Captain America movie that came out. Like, oh, you're not Captain America. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm my own character and everything. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that they're their own character and everything. They're just not as interesting as Tony Stark or Captain America was. I can't remember the Captain America's name. Like his real name. Jack something, I don't know. I don't find them like as iconic, or like I'm not really gravitating towards the characters as much as I did. But also like I was a kid when Iron Man came out, when the first Iron Man came out, so like I was easily impressionable. Yes, she is, but Robert is not leaving the MCU. Yeah, I mean he left and then they brought him back and spent a lot of money. That's why I'm saying they're spending a lot of money. Like Disney's spending a lot of money on the MCU, dude. Stan gave him a controlling role behind the camera right from the start in order to keep him off drugs. I didn't know that. Wait, why was he on drugs? Was it because he was in that one movie, Less Than Zero, right? Have you seen that movie? It was starring Robert Downey Jr. It was based on a real life dude, right? Loosely based on a novel. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of I'm getting confused with like the other drug movie with Johnny Depp. What was that one called? Anyways, Robert Downey Jr. plays like a drug addict in that movie. Did they want him to keep out drugs because that movie got him addicted or something? Oh my god. No, well, Robert Downey Jr. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. They're bringing him back in Doomsday apparently as Dr. Doom. I don't know when he's going to be introduced. He might have already been introduced in this new Fantastic Four film. I don't know because I haven't seen it, and they've been pretty quiet about like keeping like the actual stuff that's going to affect the MCU in this movie, like out of like the promotion for it and everything. So I don't know anything like about this film yet, but I'm going to watch it tonight, and I am going to hopefully like it. I'm hyped for it. I'm pretty hyped for it. Like, I ended up liking Superman, and I think I read this morning that the opening night for this Fantastic Four movie did even better than Superman's opening night. And now we're going to see like this battle of the box office with the new direction of Marvel and the new direction of DC at the same time. And that's kind of exciting. That's kind of exciting to see that. And like, yeah, competition, like I'm not like a huge fan of like competition, but I think in the end, like when companies are like competing like this, I think in the end the main winner is the audience, because we get these like fantastic like films and everything. So like competition can be good in some aspects like that. When it comes to like real life stuff and stuff, like I can avoid it. But like it levies like actual like filmmakers to create fantastic works. So like at the end of the day, no matter who wins in the box office or not, the main people who are winning are the fans. And I hope and pray that they're actually taking like the competition seriously and making something that viewers actually want to sit down and continue to watch for years to come. I don't think like the superhero genre itself is going to quote unquote die out like a lot of people have been analyzing. I feel like it's going to like slow down a little bit. I honestly hope the kaiju genre is like the next thing that gets big. So I love kaiju movies, you know? I want to see more Pacific Rim, I want to see more Godzilla, I want to see more King Kong fighting alongside Godzilla and shit, you know? Like that Monarch stuff that's happening right now, the Monarch connected universe and everything, like that's what I want to like be like the next like boom in cinema, you know? Cause that Godzilla and King Kong movie that came out, that was a very fun movie. It was really good. And like, oh my god, there was so many like cool things in that movie. I didn't really care for like, well, Console Island was okay. I love Godzilla like through and through, no matter if it's good or bad. But this recent movie like had a lot of King Kong, and he was fantastic in the movie. So like we had these resurgences of like different genres like being like the main thing. Like before superheroes, it was zombies. Remember when zombies was like everywhere and everyone was making zombie movies, and then people got fucking sick and tired of zombie movies, even me, as like much of a horror buff that I am. I was getting tired of zombies. And then superhero movies came out, and then they became the big thing, and now I think it's going to like slowly fizzle out of like the public interest and everything. Obviously like they're bringing like things back, bringing people back into theaters right now, which is a good thing and everything. But I feel like it's not like we've seen like these films in these comic book films like fizzle out of interest already. With some of these films, like audiences either panning it or not even going to see it in the first place, critics panning it bombing in the box office. It's not sustainable as it once was back in the day, and I feel like superhero hype is going to like slowly dwindle. It's not fully away yet, obviously, because like there's a renewed interest in it right now. But it's not gonna last forever. And I hope the next big thing is kaijus, because I love kaijus. I will love it until they milk it to death and I get tired of it again. That's the next thing that Hollywood needs to ruin is kaijus. They need kaijus and mechas and shit like that. Space battles with freaking mechas. They need to make the Gundam movie. They need to make the Evangelion movie, and they need to make fucking Gundam fighting Godzilla, and it's gonna be the awesomest thing ever. And then they're going to make spin-offs, and then it's gonna make TV shows, and then audience hype is going to slowly dwindle until they milk it dry and everyone's sick of kaijus again. That's what's gonna happen next. Oh my god, the current MCU where Doctor Doom is Tony Stark was in the comics, but was part of the What If line. Oh, okay, yeah. There's people speculating that Doctor Doom is Tony Stark, but that's still speculation on their behalf. It might just be Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom, and it's just like a complete, and it's not Tony Stark. But imagine if it was. And then, like, imagine, like, Spider-Man's reaction when he sees his, like... That's what people are, like... That's why people are theorizing that it might be the same Tony... Or it might be an alternate universe Tony Stark as Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. And, like, they want to see, like, Spider-Man's reaction. Because, like, this Spider-Man, freaking, what's his name playing it? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but, like his reaction to like finding out that like his mentor is now like the biggest threat in the universe. Imagine like the drama that's going to play out. That might be like a very interesting. Honestly wouldn't mind if it's Tony Stark as Doctor Doom. Honestly wouldn't mind it because of that like aspect, the drama that could potentially come out of it. I think that would make for a really fascinating narrative. Zombies in games too, yes. Everyone had like Nazi zombies, zombie shooters. They put Nazi, or they didn't put Nazi. They put zombies in like Red Dead Redemption and everything. Even though that was a cool mode and everything, and that was before like zombies got so tiring. There were just like too many like video games that came out that was like zombies and stuff. But now we got like a really good Resident Evil games coming out, and they're not just focused on zombies and stuff. They got like they're putting stuff like werewolves and vampires and shit in it. Like, okay, down, I guess. I don't know. I still need to play Resident Evil 8. Yeah, I know Pacific Rim has that stuff. That's why I mentioned it earlier. They want to make a crossover between Pacific Rim and Godzilla. They want to put Pacific Rim, the giant mechas in Pacific Rim in this Monarch universe that they're putting together. I heard that like behind the scenes, like the creative directors are wanting to do that, and I'm just like, that would be awesome. I want to see freaking Guillermo del Toro do like an actual just kaiju movie, not just Pacific Rim, like actual like a Godzilla or something like that, you know? In the What If, behavior-wise Iron Man and Doctor Doom switched. Was in the suit still behaved like before? Their Iron Man was the direct dictator and Doctor Doom was the savior. Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting take, but I don't think they're gonna do that exactly. I mean, that would be a good What If episode and everything, but I don't know. I haven't finished the recent What If TV show that came out. I think I'm like 2 episodes behind or something. It's finished and everything already, but like this recent season has been like, oh my god, it was awful, man. The first 2 seasons, great. Last season, it's just hard to get through. So I haven't finished the show just because like some of those episodes were just like, oh my god, this is bad. In the comics, Doc Ock portrayed Spider-Man while Peter Parker was too sick to move. That is where Spider-Man I'm getting a little tired, sorry. Got a suit with spider arms. Oh yeah! I saw like adaptations where he has like those arms, right? Yeah, that was in a What If episode, wasn't it? That's cool. Man, I could talk about superhero shows and movies and comic books all day, apparently. I just found out. But I'm getting kind of tired, so like I'm probably gonna like call it soon. But I just wanted to like leave it off with like, you know, I haven't been talking about it like this whole stream. Like I was going to talk about like me growing up as a metalhead and like my love of like Ozzy and like what he like taught us and everything. I guess I like talked about that a lot at the beginning, but I just wanted to leave off with like, I always loved music. I always loved metal music. I always loved hard rock. I loved rock, and I'm going to continue to love that music for the rest of my life, probably. There's a lot of like great musicians that are coming out lately, like right now Ghost and Sleep Token. They're like huge in the rock scene and everything, and they have their own unique stuff going on, and it's exciting to like see that kind of stuff. And we're seeing like the next generation of rock and roll happen before our eyes, and that's exciting, man. That's exciting, and all of this is thanks to like Ozzy like being like such a great human being, because I have no idea how the genre would even be if like he was never like an individual. Maybe like it wouldn't change too much, because there was also like other rock musicians of his time, but like it would definitely like a lot of the chords, a lot of the rhythms and ways that like we hear rock music today is all thanks to like him, his bandmates like Randy Rhoads and Zakk Wylde. I heard that Zakk Wylde actually like recently went back to Pantera, which is awesome, you know. So Pantera's getting back together. That's really cool. But like, you know, they're older generations. They're not going to last forever, even though it seems like Mick Jagger is a freaking vampire or something. But yeah, I guess that's like I said like most of everything I want to say, and if like, you know, you guys are like fans of like Ozzy like I was, you know, it's an end of a life for an individual, but it's not the end of rock and roll. Rock and roll is gonna live forever. It's not gonna freaking die, like freaking Gene Simmons keeps saying. Apparently, did you guys hear that? Like recently, Gene Simmons has come out like he's another freaking advocate for like rock is dead, and it's like, dude, come on. Okay, boomer. You know, that's all I gotta say to him. Is like, okay, boomer. I don't know. Gene Simmons, love his music. I don't really like the individuals. Have you ever seen like Gene Simmons' Family Jewels? He's just like, I don't know. He's kind of like a narcissist. But anyways, it's like a greedy narcissist. I like his music though. You know, I like to separate the artist from the art sometimes. You know, it's sometimes good to do that. I just found out that Mr. Kitty, I don't know if you guys know Mr. Kitty. He does this kind of like lower, kind of like gothic music. He does this song called God, what is that song called? Wow, I'm blanking on the name of it. Anyways, I really like that song. I like the artist and everything. Just found out he was a child predator, and that ruined a lot of things that I had in respect for him. So sometimes it's good to separate the art from the artist, but sometimes like you gotta like actually look at like what this artist did with the power that this music has led to them to get. And if it's like something that like you would not be okay with in person, then I would just suggest not even supporting the artist in general. Honestly, like the whole stuff with like Diddy that like came out and stuff, like I don't know how people can still listen to his music anymore, you know? But anyways, no hate, all love, and that's exactly what like Ozzy said in freaking Crazy Train. You know? Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys on Sunday. Next Sunday, not this coming Sunday. Not tomorrow. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Don't look for me tomorrow. I'm going to be here 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time because it's going to be a 420 stream. Get hyped, 420. Pew, 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 pew. It's gonna be on August 3rd, Sunday. I'm going to be joined by Kai. We're gonna be hanging out, smoking some weed, filling our bellies with diet soda, and playing Burnout Revenge for the PS2. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And I'll see you guys then. Oh, please like make sure to like check out the recent Cutie Spectives that has come up with Star Victoria Power. It was an amazing interview with an amazing individual. I really hope that you guys check that out. Leave a like, leave a comment. Follow them on like socials and everything. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for like suggesting this outfit. I'm sorry that I took off the jacket and everything. Okay, we can do a fit check, but I'm not gonna put it on the outfit. It is so hot. This is not jacket wearing weather. I still got some leather on though, right? So I'm still a leather baddie, right? I'm still a leather baddie, right? You guys tell me like I'm still a leather baddie, right? Yeah, please check out that Cutie Spectives and look forward to the next Cutie Spectives, which is happening this coming Saturday. I'm also being joined by a really cool individual. They worked on a lot of really cool stuff in Hollywood. I'm just going to say that right now. Like, they're one of my friends, and they've been working on a lot of fantastic stuff. Some things we might have been talking about on this stream that they worked on behind the scenes. So I hope you guys are really excited for that one, because I'm really excited for it too. She is awesome. Like, we just had the interview conducted already. I just need to edit the video, and it's going to premiere on Saturday. And I hope you guys are really hyped for that one, because I am. That's probably like these last two Cutie Spectives, like, they've been like my favorite Cutie Spectives interviews that I've conducted so far, and I hope you guys check them out. Leave likes, leave comments, and thank you for the follow, Left for Dave. Unfortunately, I'm wrapping it up right now, so you've missed a lot. But if you guys want to check out the VOD again, you can watch it on here, or you can watch it on YouTube, where it's like more streamlined, and I cut out the pre-roll and everything. But with all that said, thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Thank you, Live JBK for the fit check, standing, sitting, another fit check, and everything. And thank you, Left for Dave, for the follow just now. But I gotta go now, because I am hot and sweaty, and I gotta catch a movie. I'm gonna see Fantastic Four, and I'll let you guys know if it's like good or not next stream, which is Sunday, August 3rd. Be looking forward to that, and I will see you then. Until then, take care of yourselves, have a great rest of your day, and later! I almost pressed the wrong button.